Last we left off, your group had made their way into the lower district of Hammerstock in pursuit of the nefarious Daggers Guild. Making your way below, you persuaded some shady individuals, challenged some others, and made your way further out of the core of the lower district into a more derelict, downtrodden section of town. It was scarcely populated and poorly lit, the perfect place to hide. You found a structure marked with thieves' camp markings that would denote a hideout, and made your way inside, where you found what you assumed to be the locked entry to the Dagger's lair. However, through a series of truly awful rolls, you alerted the denizens of the lair to your presence, set off a poisonous trap that enveloped the room, and were forced to utilize multiple dimension doors to escape the gas, but were suddenly surrounded by Daggers members armed with crossbows. A tense discussion took place in which Lavender, having taken the form of the halfling member Murph, was accused of being a traitor, and they moved to apprehend her. Quickly things began to devolve further, but through some smooth talking and explanation, you came to learn that Murph had betrayed the Daggers, stolen some of this new product they were moving, and then disappeared. To prove yourselves and to get a meeting with the head of the guild, you were tasked with bringing him in for questioning and punishment. You agreed on terms and set off to locate the halfling using a newly acquired crystal ball, where you scryed on his location in a lower apartment near the roundhouse, and that he was being attacked or drained of life in some manner. Quickly, you rushed to the location, only to find Murph drained of life in his bed, the skin pulled taut across his bones, eyes sunken in his skull, and the odd frozen look of a smile frozen to his face. A quick investigation around his place brought about this small vial of some alchemical make. It burned and smelled sulfuric and chemical. Things broke down, however, as Hondo tossed it haphazardly to Mary. It was fumbled midair by an interception by Valentine and erupted as it cracked into the ground. Murph's body was incinerated. Your eyebrows, hair, and non-magical clothing have been severely burned, and the small helm was nearly obliterated, almost falling in on top of you all. Sadly, having destroyed your evidence, you scurried out of the home and away from the scene, where you forged new documentation implying the Zentarum had got to the halfling and that they were making a move in Dagger's territory. At this point, you returned to the Daggers with documents in hand, still singed, but were granted a meeting with the leader of the Daggers, Torque Hardskull. In this meeting, you learned a few things about your situation, created a tenuous alliance of sorts as the threat in the capital grows. You returned to the Pearl, and the next morning, you all awoke rested and rejuvenated, only to be shocked by a letter addressed to Alana, a summons to the Red Keep in response and in question of the murder of Sister Agatha. Haldor Battleborn will be meeting you at the keep gates in less than an hour. This is where we're going to begin today.
That's not good. Sister Agatha's dead? Hondo, you touched her last time. They're going to think it was you.
I may have been the last person to touch her, period.
I mean, she may have
Not the first or last time you said that.
She may have died from my touch. Who knows?
Don't say that when we get in front of these people, okay?
I of course.
I wouldn't be surprised if
how much of our
story?
That's what I think too. How much of our story here do we want to reveal when we get in front of these people? Do we tell them we infiltrated the Daggers?
No, we don't say anything.
I don't think we should bring the Daggers into things. Just because we don't want to fuck that relationship up either. We might have to play it by ear, but if for now, I mean, we can tell the basics of the story. We can say what we stumbled into. We saw Murph, this halfling man, meeting with Sister Agatha before. We tell them exactly what we saw. We say we found him.
But
we did run away from the scene of that crime.
Do we tell them about? Yeah, like what if they know we ran away from the other scene? What, Hondo?
We tell them the story we told the Daggers. We stick with the one story.
So we went to go investigate Murph. He blew himself up. Do we reveal the weird thing? Because what if that could have been what happened to Sister Agatha? Like the whole specter going out of his body and then him withering into nothingness.
Maybe we don't have to say what we saw specifically. If the same thing got to Sister Agatha and then finished her off, who knows what it is and who knows if it's still around.
think I got it. Here's the story. We thought it was weird that he gave a package to Sister Agatha. We thought about it all day. Then we went to go check up on Murph because we were like, that's weird. He seems like a sketchy character. When we got into his place, he freaked out, threw down an exploding thing, and that's all we know. Is that good?
Yeah, I mean, why did we leave the scene of the crime?
Because it exploded.
Okay. Well, to be fair, Lavender, you got pretty fucked up there. We can just say we had to get you medical attention.
That is true. It was not one of my finest moments. Bad hair day.
You have fine moments? Great. Okay, let's get to the royal court. Someone should get Gord, though. He probably wants to come with us, unless Gord's already here.
We had talked about having gathered everyone at the end of the last game, so unless Gord decides not to be with you all, you were all gathered together to talk about this.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay, so you guys take in a quick breakfast, get yourselves ready, and begin to make your way into the Crown District once more. As you make your way up into the Crown District, taking the long stair upwards, with your Battleborn kind of sponsorship, so to speak, you make your way up the main road of the Crown District on this the same path you've taken many times now in the short span you've been in this city. However, you make your way to this long stone bridge that extends away from the central city towards the northeastern wall of the mountain itself. A bridge that Hondo, you had taken the other day to follow Sister Agatha. At the head of this bridge, you see Haldor Battleborn waiting for you, and without a word, as you meet up with him, he nods and gestures to head across the bridge with him and leads the way. The bridge is wide and well crafted. Lines of golden gilding glint in the firelight of large braziers that sit every 10 feet or so, illuminating the space. Along the bridge, you pass by heavily guarded battlements that rise up 10 or 15 feet along the bridge's sides. Guards watch from atop the battlements, but with your company, you are allowed to pass without obstruction. And as you crest the top curve of this bridge, you see a massive gate 30 feet in height and equally as wide that opens into the mountain face. Heavy bars block passage, and a small cluster of red guards stand at attention watching your party. As you get closer, one of them calls out to halt and state your name and purpose. But before any of you get a moment to step forward, Haldor Battleborn puts his hand up and calls out, saying, I'm Haldor Battleborn, patriarch of the Battleborn clan, head of the Champions Guild. I bring with me a group of adventurers summoned here by my son Thor. He can be called to confirm an arranged audience. A few moments later, the guard returns, nods, and a large tumbling sound, followed by a creak of metal chains, rings out as the heavy gate begins to rise, and your passage is allowed through. Haldor leads once more, passing through the gate, where you're immediately met with a wide staircase of well-traveled stone stairs. They rise up into the mountain, where torches are set into the stone walls that illuminate the space warmly as you begin your climb. Along the stone walls, you see alcoves carved into the stone, where you see these small shrines or altars have been made into these little alcoves. You see symbols and sculptures of Mordan, each alight with flame. And you also see some symbols and sculptures that are not directly recognizable as religious in nature, but more commemoration of elder dwarven kings and queens of years past. At the top of this staircase, you were led into this massive circular space of natural stone cavern, where it rises up hundreds of feet like a smokestack or chimney.
Can I ask Haldor a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Haldor, what's your son's official title here?
He bears no title necessarily, but he serves as war council to Queen Baldora and the Champions Guild member within the Red Keep. He does not have a title necessarily, but Thor is his name.
What's your read on this that we're walking into?
From the brief letter I received from Thor this morning, it seems that Sister Agatha has been found within the Soul Forge. in suspicious circumstances, apparently murdered. And as you are the last to have had any information about her, I thought to bring you in to hopefully aid in coming to some kind of conclusion. I honestly have no idea how things are going to play out. I just delivered the message to my son. He delivered a message to me, and we're going to see how this plays out.
Well, we're happy to help, right, Hondo?
Very much.
Perfect. And this will go smoothly. At the top of the... oh, no, I read that. As you make your way to the top of the stairs, this massive kind of chimney-like structure you're within, Haldor strides confidently to the middle of this space onto a circular platform that, as you all gather close around, illuminates from beneath with this brilliant blue light. And it begins to rise, held aloft by some mechanism or magic unseen. And it rises for quite a while. At the top of this tunnel, you're brought to a wide, expansive hall that heads off in 4 directions, the elevator platform that you are standing on being the crossing point. Around this space, you see 4 statue guardians, unmoving but seemingly watching your every move beyond dead stone eyes, each crafted in the likeness of a full-plated dwarf wielding a battle axe, though made much larger than dwarf height. All around you, the halls are bustling with movement. Many armed soldiers marching in single-file lines are filling the halls toward the east, headed toward the main structure of the Red Keep. However, Haldor beckons you to follow him to the North Hall. Striding quickly and unimpeded by passers-by, you hurry through these vast vaulted halls of stone and marble. At the end of this long hall, you're brought to a massive spherical cavern. The brick and stone architecture gives way halfway to a smooth and polished natural stone. It's nearly reflective in its polish. It refracts several sources of firelight and splats out a rainbow-hued refraction of light like a brilliant aurora across the stone sky above you. The building itself, in the central space of this room, you see a massive columned structure atop a tall staircase, in which you begin to make your way up these massive stairs. Inside, you're met with a kind of a jaw-dropping, beautiful structure. And as you pass through, it's these massive columns that stand 30 feet in height, like a Greek temple. Alana, you cross the threshold of this space and are immediately met with this massive anvil with a mote of flame atop it. It is the symbol of Mordan that all of you have kind of come to know. However, this is one made immaculately. It's polished platinum, and the flame atop it is so perfect in its construction and its like magical, just perfectly spherical mote of flame. It kind of stuns you for a second as you see this. Like, it's kind of just awe-inspiring. However, you see a gathered group of figures kind of on the other side of this central monument. Haldor begins walking around this space where you see a younger figure, but looks very similar to Haldor, approach. Dark-skinned, black beard, peppered with silver, and a shaved head, though wearing a hefty-looking breastplate emblazoned with the symbol of the Redmanes. His arms are thick and heavily scarred, and around his waist he wears a similar Champions Guild belt and buckle to that of his father. They clasp arms and then have a very quiet, brief conversation between the two of them before Thor Battleborn comes to your group. He looks at you all with these hard gray eyes, and you see there's a group of figures kind of behind him, but he approaches you first and says,
I quickly nudge Brawley forward.
Okay. As you take front and center of the Wildcards, Thor looks down to you and looks up at most of the rest of you, and says, I am Thor Battleborn. You apparently are acquainted with my father and with the Champions Guild, nodding at Elena. It is a grave day, and a act has taken place in these hallowed halls that I hardly want to speak of. However, we must quickly determine what has happened here, and apparently you have some information that can help with that. I would like to hear your story before bringing you in with the rest of the group, if that is all right.
I nudge Brawley.
Oh. Val?
Do you want the whole story, or do you want the story as it pertains to the specific situation?
I would prefer an abridged version of how you came to be in our city, and if possible, my father alighted to the fact that you may have witnessed Sister Agatha the day previous, on top of some matters that we need not discuss yet, if you catch my drift.
That's a good idea, because this guy could talk forever, and by the end of that story, we might all be dead.
Brevity is certainly the key here.
Hopefully one of us will be dead. So we're the Wildcards, heroes of legend. So most of us are the Wildcards, heroes of legend.
We're all the wild cards.
Well,
I'm imagining your mouth is actually full as you're saying this and shoveling breakfast in, and that's the...
She pulls a brownie out.
Thank you.
We've come a long way. We have been trying to foil a plot to, this might sound insane, but a plot to bring hell onto this material plane. There is evil forces at work that are trying to break seals. They're known as the Revenant Vow, and they've actually successfully broken a couple of seals, and we're trying to prevent more from being broken. Specifically, there's a seal that could be broken here. And we came here and we spoke to your brother and your father because, I'll be honest, we're a little worried about the line of the Redmanes. Not sure if you're familiar, but there is a legend that Dorsane proclaimed that one of his hand would slay the end of the Redmanes.
I can't say I'm familiar with the legend, but the name rings true. His name is well known in our stories as a horrible figure of our nation's past. But I can't say I know much of your seals and this vow you speak of, but it's something that, provided you show your worth in this investigation, and my father seems taken with your story. If you prove yourself to me, perhaps we could have a proper meeting about this. But to matters at hand today, if you don't mind.
Sure, of course. And just to follow up on that point in terms of proving legitimacy, this one here, the tiny one, Brawley, she wields Stormcrag, chosen by the champion himself.
Can I whip it out?
He recognizes that, having been told the same information as you guys shared with Haldor, he recognizes he's not shocked by this revelation. But he does take Stormcrag in his hand and kind of wheel it and spin it and feel the balance. And you can see he's very skilled with a weapon and very comfortable holding a weapon of this kind of magnitude. And you can see this kind of glint of like... this is what he does. Like, he lives for fighting, he lives for the battle, and to hold a weapon such as this is a real kind of treat for him. There's a little glint in his eye that he kind of breaks from this like stern character to like almost a boyish like wonder. But he hands it back to you, Alana, and says, that is a mighty gift, and one that I hope we can share many stories about when this is a little behind us.
We'd be happy to. Just to quickly catch you up to speed. So we came to town. We were a little worried about the Redmane line, and we were trying to see what shady figures were around. Perhaps there was something bubbling beneath the surface. And we stumbled across a man named Murph. Lavender, could you tell us a little bit about Murph?
Yeah, Murph was kind of a mysterious character. To be honest, I have been in his body. He didn't work out a lot. I'm not going to lie. So basically, he was the right-hand guy of the daggers, but not very sharp. I got to tell you that much. See what I did there? He basically lived in this weird little hole, and then we followed him, and we wanted to find out a couple of things about him because they have been doing dealings with people outside of the city. I'm sure you know them. They're the will breakers, and they have been breaking our will because it's like, come on, guys, come out of the shadows.
Back on track.
Yeah, sorry. So basically, Murph is
Murph
dead.
met with that woman, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what you want to know.
That's what I wanted to
Sorry,
say.
I was making this about me again. So basically, he met with that Agatha lady. May she rest in peace, forever her soul. Everybody. And they shared these parchment papers together, and they had like a little clementine box that had no clementines in it, and I was like, where are the clementines at? And then she took the box, and he was really nervous, and she said bye, and then now she had it, and now she's dead, and we don't know what's happening.
So we followed her because that would seem suspicious. Our boy Hondo here, who looks barely awake, he tracked her down and tried to infiltrate her a bit, see what was what. She seemed genuine. She seemed nice. And then yesterday we tried to follow Murph because we thought that was a strange interaction. And we ended up finding his home. We broke into his home to try and see if there was anything shady going on. We're not proud of that. Murph was there. He attacked us. He freaked out. He used this tiny little vial and he smashed it on the ground almost as an act of suicide to cover whatever track. And you can see Brawley here. She lost her eyebrows. The explosion devastated his home, almost killed my dear friend Lavender here. And we had to go heal her. We had to figure out this eyebrow situation. So
It's just been an eventful time.
it's been a crazy 24 hours. We went back to our place and then we saw the summons this morning.
Well, it sounds as if you are adventurous and skilled investigators by the sounds of how much happened in such a short amount of time. Perhaps you could lend those skills in this case. Would you be willing to kind of helm the investigation here?
100%.
Good. We finding it difficult to be impartial, and honestly, with the latest attacks, our forces are split, and my mind is elsewhere. I need to. I can't lead this today, unfortunately.
You seem very affected. What was your relationship with her? Was she your grandmother or something?
No direct blood relation, but just murder in our city is punished in kind. But to desecrate the Soul Forge is a crime far more heinous. And I wish I had the fortitude to be able to take charge in this matter, but as I say, my mind is elsewhere, unfortunately. And this
Well, rest assured, we want to
surprising.
get to the bottom of this as fast as we can, just as much as you do.
Brilliant. In that case, let me introduce you to the Solinars of Mordan within our group and their wards. And he turns where you see the rest of the group gathered, a group of elderly dwarves, 3 elderly dwarves, very visibly elderly dwarves, and 2 younger, though still older, dwarves are gathered in fine robes, and you can see between them, a little ways off, there is a white sheet atop what you assume is Sister Agatha's body.
Quick question, Kyle. He mentioned something about recent fights or recent
Attacks.
Have we heard anything about that before? Am I forgetting something?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm
This is
thinking
news
his
to you.
bro. I'm thinking his bro. We got to follow up.
This is news to you.
Okay.
Remember his brother went like out of the city with some Battleborns?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that could be bad news, but we'll follow.
Okay.
His Rune went to Mithrun to pick up some new recruits to the Champions Guild from a Champions Guild outpost there. When you guys met with him, he and his partner were to bring these Champions Guild recruits back to Hammerstock the first day you guys got to the city.
Okay.
But in the immediate present, Thor turns to this group and gets their attention as you follow in behind. And he says, "My brothers, this group call themselves the Wildcards. They are adventurers from across Vesaria and have been witness to Sister Agatha yesterday in the Marquis district. On my father's word, they've been brought here as witness and to aid in our investigation here. Time is of the essence, both in bringing a murderer to justice, and as I mentioned to them, the need to fulfill my swift departure to guide our forces en route to Durnhold. This gathered group will need to work together, and I need you to cooperate as well as you can and do right by Sister Agatha." As you are standing there, another dwarf enters the room from behind you. Very elderly, silver robes, and he rushes in and stands beside a younger dwarf in white and red robes, with this like kind of friar's ring of white hair that hangs nearly to shoulder height. This older dwarf, having heard the last bit, says, "Thor, you cannot expect us to accept outsiders into the keep, into an investigation as these things are not done. Baldora will certainly not hear of it." And you hear kind of like a quiet agreement from the others, to which Thor immediately, just like with a single look, turns on him and just coolly stares at him and says, "The Queen has been made aware, and given the severity of the crime, it is possible your judgment could be clouded. My mind is elsewhere, and given some of the claims this group has brought to our attention, they've been granted this chance to prove their mettle." He says, "Introductions, I suppose, are necessary." He gestures to the one who spoke and says, "This is Kildred Orbrew, Solinar of the Allfather." He is, as I said, very elderly, white, kind of longish hair down to his shoulders, wearing the silver robes. Beside him, he gestures to a white and red robed dwarf, younger, brown hair and beard, though with a rather large, long nose. He says his Artazar, Urdok Orbrew. Gesturing again to the next, you see a thinner dwarf in silver robes, a wild black beard, gray and black peppered hair, and stern eyes. You notice the left arm of his robes have been tailored to close just above the elbow, where they seem to close around what's a lost left arm. He gestures and says, "This is Dallin Greystone, Solinar of the Allfather, and where is your ward, Master Greystone?" He nods politely to the rest of you and says, "She is currently tending to the king, but should be along in an hour or so." Thor nods in response, gesturing to the next. He says, "This is Master Baldric Deepfellow, Solinar of the Allfather, and his Artazar Braun Forgeheart." The elder in the silver robes is heavily hunched over, leaning on a cane, and looks as though a slight nudge could break some very brittle bones. And he nods, smiles from a white-haired, pointy chin. His ward, this Artazar Braun, is the youngest of the gathered group. Brown hair tied behind in a wide braid, closely cropped beard that denotes a very strong jawline, and he wears the white and red robes that denote his position. He's kind of idly thumbing this symbol of Mordan that you notice, especially Mary and Hondo. You notice him thumbing this platinum symbol of Mordan in one hand, but he does greet you all with a nod and a warm smile. To this, yeah, good.
Which one was the one who spoke up and was like
he was Kildred Orbrew.
The first guy, right?
Yeah.
But Urdok rushed in to tell him something?
Urdok was just like his second-hand man, who he just kind of gestured, and like he quickly followed up to like back him up.
Sorry, can you say the last guy's name again?
Braun.
Baldric Deepfellow and Artazar Braun Forgeheart.
Forgeheart, okay.
You're noticing the position is Solinar, is the elder and more senior position, where Artazar is their kind of ward type position, second to each of them. Each of them seem to have a counterpart. So Thor says, "So introductions out of the way to the matter at hand. Sister Agatha was found this morning by Master Deepfellow's Artazar Braun. Found here, murdered in the Soul Forge. There's a compartment beneath the altar that stands in the center of the room, as he kind of gestures to it. And he says there are certain reliquaries and supplies kept for services and the like, and she was found pressed within there very early this morning. Artizer Braun came to prepare for this morning's service and found the sister dead. I would like to hear from you all as to what it is you saw yesterday's afternoon, and I will share the information that you've relayed to me. And he goes back to tell your side of the story to the rest of the group, to which they kind of have their... you see some suspicion across specifically Kildred and his ward. They're very kind of like, they made a point of saying they don't like outsiders being involved this much. And you even see the one-armed man, Dallin Greystone. He's kind of mirroring the same behavior. However, the last two are just kind of, they don't care so much. They're just kind of listening and nodding, and they seem like the most kind of hurt by this, but you're not sure if it's from a family connection or just because they're sad.
The Braun guy, the one who was looking kind of nervous or thumbing that symbol, I'm just going to keep an eye on him during the explanation to see if anything is not surprising or shocking. If he just seems sketchy. Sure. Probably just because he found the body, but who can...
Make an insight check.
Okay.
Get him.
Ooh, very, very good. That is a 26.
You get a very strong sense that he is, he's young and not used to these kinds of things, and is genuinely sad. And that's like, he's just kind of remorseful and regretful. And while he likely has dealt with death before, this is not the same death that he would be used to. Okay. This is darker. So
I can tell
just
Hondo
kind of a conflicted thing. Go ahead, Kev.
Is there anything in these chambers that we should know about?
Who do you address that to? Just in general?
Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
I would say, who would speak up? I would say Kildred speaks up and says, "There's nothing here that you need to worry yourself with. This is a place of the gods. This is a holy temple to Mordan. There's no... I don't know what it is you're looking for, but nothing untoward."
With respect, if this is where she was... Sorry, go ahead, Kev.
Oh, sorry. This is a murder investigation. We need to know the details. This is not a time to be playing coy.
With respect, and I'll look at Hondo. That timed out pretty well. With respect, when it comes to cases like this, if this is where she was found, it's the scene of the crime. You walk these halls every day. Surely, if there was something you've seen amiss, it wouldn't hurt pointing out to us.
Okay. Hondo, make a persuasion with advantage. As Mary attempted to help you.
Okay.
With
plus.
advantage, double. No, roll again.
That's better.
There you go. That's pretty good.
What do you add to persuasion, Hondo?
I think it's 7.
Attaboy. Oh, nice.
So 22.
You see Kildred kind of holds your eye, Kevin, or Hondo. He's kind of staring you down, but he kind of nods his head and gives way as Baldric, the eldest of the Solinar, kind of steps forward and says, "You are more than welcome to investigate the premise and investigate the body. We understand that these matters need to be properly investigated, and we are too close to the matter. In terms of things that we have found amiss, myself and my ward Braun, we were not here this past evening. We were in the Hearth ward. at the Allfather's hearth all morning and evening, and at the Wayward home all evening, I should say. Pardon me. It was only this morning.
Keep your story straight there, eh?
He chuckles and taps his head, and you can see just like a wrinkled old man, just like the mind is not what it used to be, honestly. But pardon my misgivings. My ward Braun came here to get some supplies for our service at the Allfather's hearth, and this is where he found Sister Agatha.
May we see the body?
Can I do a perception?
What are you trying to perceive? And yes, you can see the body.
It's this guy lying.
That's an insight check.
Inside check.
Go ahead.
What do you
Plus
add?
plus your insight?
4, so 15.
He has no reason to lie. He's being forthright with his information. He seems on the level, even with his confusion as to where he was the day before. You give that up to old age, unless sinister's attitude. But as you kind of begin to gather around the body, Thor pulls back the white sheet off of. As you see Sister Agatha in the same garb you saw her the day before, the white and black and white robes. Her eyes are closed. It seems they've placed her with her hands clasped on her chest, holding her symbol. And you see her dead, very clearly dead.
But she doesn't look like Murph? She's not all like withered and decayed?
She looks, no, she does not look withered and decayed. She looks basically the same as you saw the day before, just dead.
This must have happened yesterday, not in the morning today.
Do you guys know how she died?
We have not examined for anything more than this. With this small council has happened rather quickly, given the state of things.
Listen, I understand that you're weary of outsiders, and I respect that. I respect your tradition, but do I have permission to look for signs of death here? I don't want to be disrespectful.
Thor steps forward, and Kildred begins to start talking, and Thor just kind of puts a hand and just says, "You're cleared for investigation in any manner you see fit. If you are to leave the premises for this investigation, one of the Solinar will accompany you, but the investigation is yours."
Okay, I'm going to look at this body. Let's crack this puppy open. I want to look for signs of death. What if there is an obvious sign of death?
Make a medicine check.
But can I help Kyle?
How?
Huh?
How do you want to help?
Help look and chat things through and try to figure out how much I can remember from what my dad would have done?
Okay.
Or do you need a specific skill?
Nope, this is fine. You just need to give me a good enough reason, and that was it.
Okay.
Why don't we both roll?
Okay.
You can either both make medicine checks, or
I
roll.
I can roll twice. I just wanted you to have fun too.
Yeah, no, go ahead, roll twice.
I rolled matching 11s. Great. So 16.
Okay, that's enough. That's more than enough. It's an obvious sign of death where you see deep purple marks on her neck, where a line of kind of this deep purple that kind of fades away on either side to more red, raw skin as a sign of strangulation. It seems like a single line. It doesn't look like hands or anything like that, but it seems like a line of something drawn across the throat and strangled her to death. With a 16, you can tell it looks like a thin chain or wire of some kind, something thin but strong, and you can tell that she, basically the angle at which she was choked either needs to be by someone roughly her height, maybe a little bit taller, not immensely taller. Otherwise, the direction of it would change. And Mary, you kind of point out that based on the pooling of the blood around the area, that it would have been someone that at her height, essentially equal strength.
How long does it look like she's been dead?
With that investigation check, you gather late the last night to like very early this morning would make the most sense, given what you guys know as your story and the time of day right now. Like, it's still pretty early morning, so it's happened in a very relatively short amount of time, likely late last evening.
Okay.
But, time is weird.
I will like nudge Hondo and be like, look in her pockets, and then I'll turn back to the group and I'll be like, did any of you encounter Sister Agatha yesterday? What was she like? Did she seem different or distracted?
Okay, Cav, are you gonna search pockets?
Sleight of hand.
Nope, that's investigation. If you want to try and do it stealthily,
Yeah.
I would say give me a sleight of hand check on top of your investigation check. Okay, so I'll take that as your investigation. Now roll your sleight of hand as well.
10.
Okay, yeah, you're crazy high. You're good. I'll get to you in a second. Scott, I need you to roll a persuasion check as you ask basically what they saw the day before.
20.
Okay. Honda, you begin kind of covertly kind of behind Valentine as he stands in front of you. You kind of hide a little bit behind his legs and kind of search through your pockets. You find like a handful of butterscotch candies and yeah, and a bloody dagger. No. You find nothing else.
Like an old handkerchief that smells kind of weird.
Like a Kleenex that has like some mucus in it. It's kind of gross.
I'm gonna.
You don't find anything.
You're gonna what?
For magic.
Okay.
You're gonna check. You're gonna do what with the candy?
I'm gonna check the candies.
In classic Hondo fashion, in the way you investigate things, you pop one in your mouth just to see, is this going to kill somebody? And no, it's very butterscotchy, very nice, it's very tasty. Okay. No investigation required.
I'll nudge. Sorry, go ahead.
Val asked the group, you just asked like whether they had seen her the day before?
Yeah, if they saw her before, and was she acting different than usual?
Right. And what was your persuasion? Your persuasion was 20.
Yeah, just 20 after the roll.
I gotta see what these guys do on their side. Oh, hello. So.
They spit in my face.
Oh, those are my notes. You guys don't get to know that information. Let's see. So Baldric and Braun, Baldric repeats their whereabouts the day before. They say they were at the Allfather's Hearth through the morning and afternoon, and were at the Wayward Home in the evening. Both those locations they say are in Heart Home or the Hearth Home district, which is district one above the lowest district, one below the Marquee. Kildred and Urdok are kind of shifty, and they kind of have a little chat between the two of them as Braun is explaining his whereabouts. Dallin begins talking about I've been caring for the king in his chambers all afternoon yesterday, and would have been into the evening had we not had a small council meeting to discuss certain matters. And he kind of gives a look at Thor, and Thor nods and just says, to discuss the matters of the attacks in Durnhold. I was pulled away, but my ward remained in with the king. Our attention to him has been nearly 24/7 in his condition as it worsens.
When they say certain matters, is that like, do they look shifty, like they didn't want us to know about the attacks? Or was it like something different that's being covered up?
No, with your passive insight, you can just gather that he wanted to get confirmation from Thor whether he could say what they talked about. Cool. It was a small council meeting. You guys are outsiders, but he's just making sure, like, can I say what's going on? Is that cool? And Thor giving a nod, like you just know, like, yeah, he's just getting permission essentially to say about the attacks. At this point, Kildred kind of pushes Urdok forward. And says, My ward did manage to see Sister Agatha yesterday. Go on, Urdoc. And he kind of stands in front of you and says, I did see Sister Agatha yesterday afternoon. She returned here while Kildred and I were working in the Soul Forge. We had no services yesterday. However, we remain on the grounds in case anyone wishes to needs any assistance from within the Soul Forge. But Sister Agatha did come in carrying a package that she stashed beneath the altar. She seemed fine.
Has anybody checked the altar since? Is that box still there?
We haven't looked. We just found her there this morning, and if you want to take a look.
Resisting the urge to like deeply sigh and just try not to roll eyes at the.
Are we?
Why wouldn't you just fucking look?
Like, this is the altar.
Yeah, the altar is like in the center of this kind of column, kind of Greek, column structure, like your classic Greek temple. And essentially, where you guys are standing is on the middle is this massive anvil that beneath has kind of like your typical kind of altar, and it's got some drawers and doors and things, small, like a cupboard. At the back of the room, you're kind of standing between this altar and the back of the room where you can see an actual forge. And it's currently burning. There's nothing being forged right now, but you can see like there's a slow kind of trickle of like this liquid hot magma, but there's no one doing anything with it. But that's the only things in the room. Everything else is an empty space. Like it's just beautifully like constructed and it looks magnificent, but there's no other rooms, no other things. It's an open kind of structure.
I'll make eyes at Mary and look at the altar.
Yeah, I'll go take a look.
Okay, investigation check.
Okay. I think that's a 20.
20?
Yes, 20.
Okay. As Urdoc kind of begins or finishes explaining what he saw the day previous, you go over and slide open these kind of sliding doors at the bottom of this altar. And on one side you see just a bunch of like vials and little coffers, little brass and gold bowls, and you can see some like chalice-y looking things, reliquaries, and you kind of slide another one, and you can see kind of see a space where things have been shoved back and where there probably was a body sat in this space, and everything has been pushed away as a result of that. However, tucked around the space where this body was, kind of off and to the right a little bit, you do see a small crate and a piece of burlap that kind of hangs over top of it.
Don't let Han hear that.
Mary, as you kind of get a little closer and kind of move this burlap away, it is empty.
Yeah.
Fuck!
However, as you notice this is an empty box now, and you kind of pull it out, there's nothing to worry about. As you go to pull out from under, you have to kind of get in down low, and as you go to pull out, you note a small piece of fabric is kind of caught in the latch at where the altar closes on, and you see this just tiny little like scratch of reddish fabric.
That's a motherfucking clue.
I'm gonna pocket it for now.
Okay. There's no need for a sleight of hand check or anything. These guys are not on top of you. Like you're a little further away, and it's a tiny piece of fabric.
This is so basic, but is anyone here wearing red fabric?
They have red and white cloaks on.
Two of the artisars wear red and white. You notice there is some red accents to Thor as well. You note that red is a pretty accurate color for the red mane kind of red guards, and that's kind of like a house color, so to speak. So you can see a lot of their kind of stuff is red accented. So yeah, there's quite a few red things.
None of us really see that except Mary, though, right?
I was gonna say, while I was under there, would I be able to like message everyone else using the earrings very quietly?
Sure.
Well, because like I'm way the fuck under something, right? I'm assuming. Or am I gonna have to be sneaky?
No, you will. Give me a stealth check just to see how quietly you can do this.
It's an 11 again, so 20.
Okay.
I'll just say, first I'll kind of call out, found the container, but the contents are gone, and then quietly add to the rest of the group. Also found a small piece of red fabric to keep an eye out to see if anyone's missing a piece of chunk of their clothing.
I'll lean into Lavender and tell her that quietly because she doesn't have.
Because I'm like,
just looking at stuff,
munching on stuff.
question: where does this lady, or where was her sleeping place? Did she have a room? Did she had another place that she would go all the time? Did she live in there?
There are quarters for the for those of Mordan's family here. There are a series of manor houses for the Solinars, and around there the brothers and sisters of the church have domiciles there as well. If you wanted to, you could check those out if you think that is necessary.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
When I walk back to the rest of the group, I'll try to take a good look at that fabric before I come out, pocket it, and then try to see, judge, is it the same quality of fabric as the kind of stuff people are wearing? Is it like...
Okay.
Is it obviously like fancier fabric, or is it all pretty standard?
Give me an investigation check for that as well.
Sure. Ooh, very good. So 17 plus 9, so 26.
Okay. With your investigation of the fabric itself, you can tell that it is not fancy. It is, it's not a silken fabric. It's nothing amazing. It is kind of just a simple cloth fabric. But it does seem to be similar to the type of fabric that they would use in either the robes or the kind of the guards, clothing. It's like a generic, it's cotton. It's whatever.
They probably order it in bulk and then everyone makes it out of the same stuff.
Yeah, it's the same quality of any of our t-shirts.
Cool.
Quick question for you. I know we are all best friends. We've known each other for so long, and we're so close. Yeah. But how close are you guys here? Did a lot of you know Sister Agatha, or did she more lay on the down low?
Give me a persuasion check.
I need some dice.
Big roll. Plus.
Nice. Ooh, 18.
Okay. Baldric again kind of speaks up and says, Sister Agatha was not disliked or especially liked. She was one of many of our brethren, serving in our multiple facets within the Soul Forge and the Allfather's Hearth, and within the castle and within the keep. She was just kind. She was a good woman. She was a good dwarf.
Okay, that wasn't exactly the spiciest tea that I was looking for.
I apologize.
I'm going to cut you off there, because my other question is, instead of going spicy, let's go sharp. Why would she have a relationship with the daggers? Is it like some kind of charity work that you guys are doing? An outreach program?
To that, everyone kind of gets a little quizzical. They all kind of are looking at one another, a little surprised, and Kildred speaks up and says, "None of our cloth would have anything to do with those thieves."
Is everyone equally surprised?
Make an insight check.
I don't trust these fuckers. Ooh, that was not good. Oh wait, but for me it is good. I rolled a 2, but
that
it's
was a big turn there.
Well, I forgot. I rolled a 2, but it's a 17.
Jesus.
Well, my insights are minimum 8 on the dice, so.
Sick.
Yeah.
Everybody seems equally incredulous.
Okay. I'll stop inside checking these guys now.
So, just in picking up their conversation, did Thor mention that his Artizer is with the king?
Dalin's Artizar is with the king. Thor doesn't have a ward. Thor is like...
Because he's not a Solinar?
Yeah, he's not one of the church. He's like war council, and yeah, he doesn't deal with these kinds of matters. So Dalin's ward, he's the only one who's solo. His ward is with the king. Kildred and Urdok, Baldric and Braun.
Dalin, would it be possible to speak to your ward when they have a moment?
Of course, when I finish here, I will go relieve her from her duties with the king, and you can speak with her then.
How is the king?
Give me a persuasion check for that too. Sorry, there's a lot of mistrust and back and forth.
That is a 22. And I just brush the hair a bit as I say.
He kind of thinks and kind of looks you up and down a little suspiciously, and just says, his condition has worsened, and we are honestly unsure as to what is necessarily ailing him. He's broken a fever, he's had seizures, if I didn't know better, I'd say he was cursed.
We have dabbled in curses before in magic. We would offer our services if I didn't think that would be met with some skepticism.
I can't unfortunately allow that to happen.
Who would?
If anyone, the queen could allow it, but my skills are more than adequate to take care of the king. Thank you.
Well,
it seems as though he's been...
Well.
You know what? I'm just going to have a little bit of a skull.
There's a bite to the response, and if any of you kind of speak up to that, he kind of begins getting huffy and looks to Thor and says, are you sure that these adventurers are qualified to be here? And Thor looks to you all and says, we've had a moment to look around everything here. Do you have any insights or any line of thought, plan?
Well, I'll pull up the crate and I'll say, well, this is empty now, so there's somewhere to start.
And we know what was in it.
And what was that?
The same thing that destroyed Murph's home, Murph being a low-level member of, actually high-level member of the Daggers. He was transporting a vial of a explosive liquid. One of these vials decimated his home, a 2-story, wasn't the nicest home, but still did a number on its foundation. Why Sister Agatha had this crate full of them and where they went now is perhaps what got her killed.
Again, you're kind of met with a little bit of this is preposterous kind of reaction. They're still not fully buying, although Baldric and Braun seem to be more and more on your side as the kind of conversation has gone on. But Kildred, Urdok, and Dalin seem to be not on your side, but just skeptical of the whole way, and they're pulling further away from wanting you a part of any of this. But Braun and Baldric are kind of getting closer to wanting you there.
I'll speak up and say, we don't mean to speak ill of the dead. Things can happen with all sorts of people. It does not mean what she was bringing here was of her own mind.
Completely.
Can we see a room?
Great question, Hondo. Great fucking question.
Your lavender-haired figure friend here had said that she had been interested in doing so as well. If you think it is wise to investigate her room as well, there's more to learn than perhaps any kind of looks to the group. And Baldric moves forward and says, Braun and I will accompany them if this is the will of you, Thor, and of the Queen. We will accompany you and aid you in your investigation. Kildred and Urdok, you will remain here and see to the interment of Sister Agatha, her appropriate interment. And Dallin, of course, you must return to the king.
We don't think it's necessary. We know it's necessary. Now let's go.
Dallin gives a nod and says, well, you know where I'll be. And he heads out. Kildred and Urdok kind of begin to pull away a bit, and they both just are kind of scoffing quietly. And Thor, Haldor, Bronn, and Baldric are kind of looking at you guys. What is it you need to do? Where do you want to go first?
Let's check out her room. As we're going, did you say Thor's still with us?
Yeah, Thor, Haldor, Baldric, and Bronn are with you guys.
As we're going, I'd like to say, care to share about the attacks at Durnhold? Is your brother okay?
My brother was not in Durnhold.
Sorry, he went to Mithran. I apologize. I was getting my cities confused.
We have not heard from him, though, and Haldor and Thor kind of share a look, and Haldor kind of looks back to you and says, he normally does check in sooner. Do you think something could have happened?
I wouldn't
don't
rule
like-
anything out in these times.
I don't like what's going on right now. There's a lot of stuff, weird stuff happening. Having him in the Champions Guild out getting new people, I don't like it. Well, what's going on at Durnhold? I'm sorry. What was that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. There's a moment between the Solinar, Baldric and Thor, and Baldric kind of gives him like a nod of like, go on, tell him, and Thor quietly explains, a night or two previous, we were just hearing from our scouts in the area and from displaced locals that there was a massive attack on Durnhold. A rabble of forces came in, led by some evildoers unknown, and laid waste to the city.
Laid waste to the city?
It burns. We're not sure if there were any survivors or what the current state of the city is, of the town. We're sending in a large chunk of our forces to aid in anyone who is trying to flee and to rebel these forces.
Don't do that. Keep them all here for now. Keep them all here. How far is Durnhold?
You know where Durnhold is, actually. You guys went through Durnhold. You would have went through Durnhold to go home. It's on the west coast, kind of equal line with like where the Kel Desert is. And Thor says that we cannot abandon our people. Our forces are already on the way.
Okay, I don't like weakening this city while this stuff is going on.
Our city is not weak. We're strong even with our lowered numbers. None have ever breached the Red Keep, and none ever will.
How did Agatha die? And I'll keep walking. I don't know where I'm going.
The four don't leave anywhere. They look to the rest of your group and says, where would you like to go?
Let's,
The room.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's start with
Yeah.
Sister Agatha's. I'll as maybe this is just me missing it, Kyle. This main spot where she was found, is it shut off? Is it wide open? Like, does it look like the? Okay.
Open space.
I'll ask as we're going. Is it odd for anyone to come here late at night when nothing's going on, or is it kind of open for prayer for anyone who wants in?
Before you guys begin to walk off and you get that question off, Haldor and Thor kind of bid their goodbyes, and they kind of take Allie aside just briefly and say, we'll reach out to Rune and see if there's any response, see what is happening in Mithran. If anything is untoward there, perhaps after this investigation is over, we can send you if something is amiss. All this talk has kind of gotten us riled up. I'm not sure what's happening. However, we have given you a stone to communicate with. We'll send you a message if we need you. Is that okay?
That's okay. Thank you.
Good luck.
You too.
And the two of them leave from a different direction as Baldric and Braun begin leading you back through the central keep and then out towards the Crown District once more, but not across the bridge, kind of in a different manner. What was the question you asked, Mary?
I just asked if it would be strange for someone to come into the the area of the temple where she was killed in the middle of the night, or is it like regular that people go in and out to pray?
Baldric just kind of says, it is open for a reason, as Mordan is open to any who are in need of guidance and assistance at any point in time. We have scheduled services in which many will accompany and hear what we have to say and what the word of Mordan is, but the average person, of course, is more than welcome, though it is difficult to access for most of the common folk. The Soul Forge specifically is only accessed through the Crown District and through the keep itself. If any others wish to worship, many will attend the Allfather's hearth in the inner city or its partner in the outer city.
You say if it's difficult to get in, who would be the last person they'd have to get by to get into this room?
There would be many Red Guard in the halls. There is a chance that we could speak with the Red Guard and see if there was any who saw something. There is a chance that one of them were on patrol around these halls. We have not had a chance to speak with any of them. They would be the only ones.
Yes, if we could try to find out if maybe someone saw something.
Of course. And over this conversation, he begins leading you towards, you see this large kind of manor estate, though split into smaller, like apartment style. But there is a large kind of garden that's this beautiful kind of garden that's out front, and like a nice like water feature and all this kind of stuff out in front of this massive kind of low-hanging estate. And you see kind of behind these lower estates, these three larger singular manors. And Baldric kind of gestures to say that the larger in back are to the Solinars and their wards, while these up front are for any who serve Mordan in other capacities. And they say this is where Sister Agatha would reside, and they lead you to basically to a small apartment within this kind of estate structure, and they lead you directly into the room. It's unlocked. The door is unlocked, and they lead you into a small, like flat style apartment. It is simply decorated. To the point where you might think it's not decorated. It is just a room with a bed, a small like cooking area, and like a small bookshelf of books, and a little sitting table with things, but it's rather small.
As we go in there, Lavender pulls out her dagger and makes a tear in her sleeve, and she pretends that she ripped it on the door, and she says, "Oh, shoot! Oh, Baldric, you seem like a deep fellow. Oh, I was just wondering, I ripped my shirt. Do you know anybody in this Red Keep that could maybe mend it? Anyone that's really good with fabric? Someone that could help me fix this?"
Baldric leans over and says, "Of course, I can help you with that." And he puts a hand to it, and as he removes his hand...
No, I don't want magic on it. So sorry.
He's already done it.
Oh...
It's like such a fast cast.
She has a thing about.
Oh, thank you, Baldric.
I apologize. I didn't realize you had such an aversion to magic.
I'm one for patches, and I just love all of your red fabric. And I was just wondering, it's kind of like a girl guide thing. I don't know if you ever heard that before. It's like anywhere I go, I usually make a mistake, and I want it to get mended. I just wanted to talk fabric. Anyways, go on.
My apologies, I suppose. And he kind of just like looks down and looks over at Braun, and Braun's just kind of like,
I don't fucking know.
And then you're in the apartment. What do you guys want to do?
I lean over to Gord and give him a nudge, and I'm like, "Could you do that thing where you can detect magic?"
I can.
I cast Detect Magic.
Okay. As you cast Detect Magic, you are kind of blinded by your friends who are covered in magical items and yourself.
We'll get used. We're used to it by now. We'll step out of the way.
Back up.
Yeah. But as you glance around the room, nothing jumps out at you as magical. Everything in here seems pretty mundane. But you have it for 10 minutes if you come across anything.
Okay. I'll relay that message, but I'll keep it up.
Okay.
Is you two have been in these chambers before? Is there anything that there's not much in here. Anything that looks out of place to you? Is there anything that should be here and isn't?
Both Baldric and Braun do a quick kind of look around and say, we did not know Sister Agatha overly well, but this is very similar for many of our congregation. They do not have many material things. Okay. Nothing here looks untoward.
I'll just start doing a perimeter of the room.
Yeah, I want to look at those books.
Okay. You guys can make investigation checks.
Not great.
19 for me.
Okay.
17 for me.
Okay. Mary, it takes you like 60 seconds to look around the room and denote that nothing here is of interest to you guys. Val, the books are slightly interesting to you in that they're books, and that they are a series of like religious texts, mostly like a long series of basically like scripture of like Mordan, the Church of Mordan. They go back many generations and many years, so that's kind of interesting. But like in terms of this investigation, like nothing jumps out at you beyond like, yeah, she's a nun.
Okay, wait. I have an idea. I'm gonna try and do this casually. I'll turn to either of them and I'll be like, are the Blesser family working today?
Of course, Ingrid is with the king.
Ingrid's with the king right now?
Ingrid Blesser is Dallin's Artizar, of course.
Oh. Fuck.
I'll be like, cool.
Is there any particular reason you find Ingrid that you want to know about her?
I vaguely remember hearing something about her knowing Sister Agatha, but maybe...
Doesn't she have a really good breastplate?
What?
I heard she's got a really good breastplate, and I am looking for a breastplate. So I was...
Ingrid?
Yeah.
Ingrid does not wear a breastplate.
That's my bad then, guys. Sorry. Must have got my names confused. Someone else around here has got a great armor.
Throw me a deception check.
God damn. 18.
Oh my god. A 2 and a 4.
Yes!
Even with that utter trash. They both are just kind of like, these guys are weird. But yeah, they just, many the Artizar and Solinar, we do not wear armor, we wear vestments typically. Though Ingrid is likely with the king now, or is likely Dallin was supposed to relieve her, and he said he would send her our way, though I don't know if he knows where we are.
If you question out of game, if you cast message, do you have to talk? Message is like you talk and that message goes to the other person. It's not.
It's
like
a verbal. It has a verbal component, so you need to be.
Okay.
Oh, is Allie back?
Allie, you back
I'm
here?
back.
Yay! Okay, you missed something big.
Oh no!
You're dead.
Sucks, bro.
Roll a new character.
Can you imagine?
I asked. Do you remember Torque Hard Skull?
Yes.
Like, someone gave us a tip that Ingrid Blesser was buying those vials.
The #1 client.
She was like
Yes.
client. So I asked if the Blessers were working today, trying to be real casual. And then one of these guys was like, oh yeah, like Ingrid's, that other guy's Artazar, the one we wanted to talk to, she's guarding the king right now.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to be cool. I managed to bluff a little bit, but that's where we are right now. And we checked out the room. There's nothing in it for her.
Okay.
Speaking of Ingrid, if she was the last one to see the deceased, it'd still be good to talk to her.
Sure, of course.
You mentioned getting word to us when she was done her shift. Do you know how long that would be?
It's not necessarily a shift. They care for the king almost 24/7. However, I don't believe I could bring you directly there without express permission from the queen.
Is there someone who could relieve her?
Well, Dallin could.
While you continue this conversation, Thor, do you mind if...
Thor's not here.
Son of a bitch.
Thor and Haldor left you guys at the Soul Forge. The only ones it's your party with Baldric and Braun. However, Baldric says, I could send a message to Ingrid or to Dallin to try and send her here or in another meeting place if you wish.
How long did this journey take?
It's been like 15, 20 minutes.
Could you send a message to Thor? I forgot I have a personal question I need to ask him.
What do you want me to say?
It's personal. If I could meet him or go back upstairs. I don't want to overstep my bounds.
I'll send a message, but I honestly can't promise whether he'll be available to come. He was intending to head out to Durnhold.
Yeah, it's pretty urgent. But
as you wish. He begins casting a spell, and he casts Sending, to which he says, pardon the intrusion, Master Battleborn. However, the Wildcards, specifically Valentine, have a matter they wish to speak with you about if you could get to Sister Agatha's.
I so appreciate that.
Of course. He goes away for like a quick second and then comes back and says, he cannot make it out to Sister Agatha's currently. However, we could meet him if we wanted to head into the keep. He's just attending to some final matters before the heading out to Durnhold.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Because we might meet up with Ingrid anyways, so that's probably good. No need to bother her now, though. She's working.
Of course. If there's nothing else, you guys can make it to meet with Thor in 20, 30 minutes.
We feel like we have a good read on this room. Didn't really feel like we checked it.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Anyone else have any ideas? We did a magic check. We did.
Do I see anything else? No.
No, unfortunately, there's just nothing. There's nothing of interest in this room. You notice that there are some magical energies coming off of Baldric and Braun. Sorry, Jesus, losing my mind. Coming off the two of them, but nothing. It doesn't scream anything weird to you guys, or to you, Brock. Sorry, you just get they have magical powers and energies that are within them that denote clerical work.
She's has Sister Agatha worked here for a while?
Yes, she's been with us for many years.
She must know lots of people here. If anyone was, she was acting strange. I'm sure she has friends here that might have spoken with her in the last few weeks.
You can ask around if you like. I can't say that I know any offhand, but if you wish to ask around, please be my guest. However, we were about to head into the keep to meet with Thor.
I still think we should. I still think we should meet with Thor.
Okay, yeah, I guess we can come back.
Okay, so what's the order of things you guys want to do? We want to go meet Thor now?
I kind of want to talk to Thor and be like, I do not trust this blesser chick. Why is she with the king and the king's losing his life?
Is everyone cool with heading to the keep or no?
Well, how long? Sorry, you said we have 20 minutes, right?
Well, that's that would be how long it takes to get to the keep.
Oh, okay.
You don't have 20 minutes before something happens. It's
okay, no, I understand. I want to talk to some people here, but I guess we can do that after.
Okay. You do see like there's a handful of people kind of around that you could quickly ask on the way.
I'll just ask around to see who's closest with her. Like just so I have a name. Or a couple names.
Go and make a persuasion check.
Give me a name. Swear to me.
Okay, that's all right. That's 15.
They don't give you a name necessarily of like, this is her best friend. She's her best person in the whole world. They just kind of say that like everyone here is kind of all cares for one another, and they're all, they know of her, and like she's a good person. She's a nice person. They like her, but nobody is like jumping out of their seat to say like, oh yeah, I'm her best friend.
Wait, do people know that she's dead?
No.
Cool.
Break the news.
I'm not gonna do that. All right. Well, yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to ask anything to these people, or just move on?
Just asked if they'd seen her.
Anything strange happened last night.
Yeah.
Okay. They say that they noticed she didn't come home, and that is strange. But they kind of chalked it up. They chalk it up to her working in the outer city or something like that, like having volunteered somewhere, and but they have nothing. She's not been acting strange for the last couple of days. She's not been doing or saying anything that is not what she normally would do.
And she works in the outer city often?
She works in the outer city, in the inner city, wherever they're on kind of rotation to work at the multiple different like churches and things like that.
Okay.
But you make your way. Sorry, you make your way into the keep once more, and after about it's like 35 minutes of you guys just kind of like you travel and then you're inside before Thor comes down this kind of big heavy staircase, and he's changed his outfit essentially into a more battle ready look. He's got these two battle axes that are sat one on either hip, this heavy kind of wolf cloak on his back, and this helmet now that is kind of like the helmet Gimli would wear. And he heads down to you and says, sorry, I'm looking to head out to Durnhold very soon. You wish to speak?
Yeah, it's a private matter.
He has tummy things.
It's a tummy thing, but it's very... You mind stepping over here with me and just having a quick conversation?
I don't care if you have a stomach problem, but if it's actually urgent.
It's a real problem.
Okay.
I look at Lavender.
You guys kind of step into a small alcove away from the traffic. Are you away from Baldric and Braun specifically, or
that's trying to get away from?
Yeah, I'll kind of pick up on that and start just like going through like, can you tell me anything about a regular schedule, like all the stuff we've already talked about, but just
okay, because they were about to follow, and then Mary pulls them aside. Okay, so you want just you and Thor?
Yeah.
He says, okay, we're away.
I'm gonna be very honest, very clear, very concise. Ingrid Blesser is not to be trusted. Didn't realize she was the, artisan that is with the king right now. Worried she could be making a play against the king, against the queen. We know from our own covert dealings that she was trying to get a hold and procure these explosive devices. She had made a pact with the daggers to get some for her family, for her. She's not to be trusted.
Ingrid Blesser, that makes no sense.
Neither does a old lady nun, innocent, just dying and getting shoved in a fucking religious cupboard.
Do you think she's acting of her own volition? Her family is one of many old clans within the city.
That I'm not sure of. I don't know if she's acting of her own volition, but I do know that she was trying to procure these explosive vials. I don't know if we should... I'm torn because we might go covertly and try and infiltrate her and see if we can get more evidence. So I don't want to spook it, but perhaps you could double the guard when she's on duty near the king. I just don't think she's to be trusted. Trust no one, Thor. I lean in.
He pushes you away. Very, very strong. he says, I will make word to triple the guard on the king's room, and it's fairly heavy already. However, the only people who typically go through would be Dallin and Ingrid. Baldora visits on occasion, not less so lately. He's been less of his own mind, and it saddens her to see. On occasion, Baldric and Braun have taken the shift over from Dallin as well, but typically they're the only ones who have any access to him on a daily basis. However, I will triple the watch as you instruct, and I would urge you not to broadcast this information and to guarantee before you make a move.
I promise you, we always think before we do things.
Well,
And I cross my fingers in my pocket.
This is... I'm torn. I have to head out to marshal our troops, but there seems to be something to your story that something is going on here, and I'm nervous to leave.
Will your father still be here?
Of course, he will still be here. He's returned now to the guild house, but he's never far.
How fast could you get back if we need you? How far is it to Durnhold from here?
Durnhold is, I'll be taking by Griffin. It'll take me 2 days to travel. So I would be two days away.
Were you able, I know it's only been a few minutes, but were you able to contact Rune at all or send word for him?
Haldor, my father, has taken charge of that. If he has any response or has no response, Alana will know.
Okay. Well, so Alana's stone goes to Haldor or to you?
Haldor.
Okay. Thor, we wish you luck. We will keep this between us. May good fortune find you.
Thank you. When you learn anything, and if anything untoward happens to the king or queen, obviously I will be alerted, but please alert my father and he will alert me, and I will travel back here as quickly as I can. I'm leaving a large amount of trust in the Wildcards right now. I hope you prove your worth. And he exits the alcove and heads back.
I go for the handshake as he leaves.
He charges beyond.
And I just pretend to lean against the wall and look back at my friends.
Cool.
Mary's struggling to try to keep attention. This is the longest she's talked without planning what she was going to say.
What is Lavender talking to these old men about?
Just this is a nice place, and I would love to get a personal tour one time.
Oh, Jesus.
Braun looks very uncomfortable, but Baldric is just like happy to be talking with somebody. He's just like kind of into it.
I'm kind of like touching his robe as well, just trying to like feel the fabric and just learn it.
Yeah, he's down. He's into it. Braun is kind of like looking at the rest of your group, kind of skeptically, and then it's just kind of like a no judgment, just kind of stands there like staring. But Valentine returns to the rest of your group. What's the plan?
All right, let's go back to our home base at the.
Do we not want to try to speak with Ingrid? At least get her side of the story. She was the last one to see the deceased. Just hear if she saw anything.
Yeah. Just a casual chat, casual talk.
Should we all go to that, or should some of us remain unknown to Ingrid?
Well, I'm thinking she can. We, as I understand it, we might not be able to go in to see her. And I'll look at. I don't remember anyone's name. Yeah.
Baldric.
Yeah, they both say you will not be allowed even on the floor that the king is on. However, Braun kind of pipes up and says, well, if you're this suspicious of Ingrid,
No, she was just the last to see the deceased alive. She may have seen something that we haven't heard yet.
Okay.
Just cover all our bases. We've heard from all of you.
Do you want to share something with the class, Bron?
I have nothing to share. I was just, if you're investigators and interested, why not investigate her room?
That sounds great. Yeah, we'd love to go see it.
I'd like to investigate your room.
Lavender.
Bron like clutches his like holy symbol, and then like notices he's doing it and like puts his hand back into his pocket.
I glance at his pocket and then back in.
It's just
what?
Now he's just awkward. I don't know if, and he kind of looks to Baldric and is like, I don't know that we should allow outsiders into one of our Artizar's rooms. However,
I mean, to be fair, you're the one who suggested it.
You know her room well, Bron?
I've never been in it, no, but I know where she stays.
Okay, well, do you mind taking us there?
He kind of looks to Baldric for confirmation, and he looks to your group. Someone, it doesn't have to be whoever just last spoke, but someone make a persuasion check. I'm giving advantage to whoever takes it for Lavender's touching.
Do it. Lav, do it. Just roll a d20 twice.
Just making a persuasion check to see if they
We've
lead you.
endeared ourselves.
Exactly.
18.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah. He nods and says, if she has anything, if she has nothing to hide, then it is no issue with me. However, we could face some issues from Dallin if we break into his Artizar's room without cause. But
fuck him.
Dallin's busy at work.
Yeah.
Isn't he doing a shift change?
Let's not bother him.
He is caring for the king. But
to be fair, the first thing you do in situations like this is you try to find. The only way to find out who did it is to find out who didn't. So if we can clear her name in this manner, one less person to look into. Trying to avoid people thinking we're suspicious. If she was the last person to see them, then she's the alibi we need to establish, just to keep her name clear.
Okay. They begin leading you back towards the area where Sister Agatha's area is. But beyond the lower estates where like the sisters would stay, and they lead up into the right manor house that they had denoted were the Solinars and their wards where they live. And as they lead you there, and they're kind of idly chatting, and Baldric and is chatting up Lavender. Bron kind of looks to your group and just says, I've known Ingrid a long time. Do you really think she's caught up in any of this?
We just want to rule everyone out so that we can, find out the suspect themselves. We don't know much about Ingrid. Could you tell us a little bit about her?
Throw me a persuasion check. I know it's a lot of persuasion checks, but...
You got it.
Oh, Jesus. I've rolled
20.
balls all night. I've rolled 2 good rolls in all of these rolls. Not that it works better. It actually works better for me to roll low here because I want to tell you shit. You can tell that he wants to know what's up with Ingrid because he has, as he kind of begins to explain, she's been acting a little strange. She's been very distant. They used to be pretty good friends as these up and coming Artizars. The position of Artizar is difficult to attain because it essentially puts you next in line to be a Solinar, and that is one of the highest kind of ranking positions in this society. And in Hammerstock, to be a Solinar is one step short of royalty. Your second hand to the gods, and Artizar would be the next one down. So that is a position that is very heavily wanted for, and it takes a very specific kind of person, a very faith-bound person. And he kind of begins giving you this kind of backstory, and explaining that over the last couple of weeks, she's kind of shifted a little bit. She's been very distant. She's not wanted to kind of remain, doing the kind of simple duties that they are supposed to do. She's been kind of shirking responsibilities, and just kind of been specifically distant in like avoiding him and avoiding a lot of, I don't know, just a lot of things within like their day to day that they should be doing. He was kind of chalking it up to the pressures of caring for the king, and thought that that's why, and that he thought that maybe there was something more going on with the king that she and Dallin were aware of, that like this is more dire than they want the rest of us to know, and she's kind of being bared down with that weight, is how he's been rationalizing it.
So if she's been shirking on her duties, that doesn't bother Dallin at all? If he's the one responsible for her, wouldn't it come down on his head if something would happen?
If it has, I have not heard any annoyance from his side, but then he has no reason to tell me of his annoyances.
I don't want to spook him at all, so I just like take that in, and I'm like, yeah, maybe with the king, his condition worsening, that'd be a lot to take in.
Okay.
But my ears are perked up.
Okay. By the time this conversation comes to an end, you are at the outskirts of one of these larger manor estates. And you can see it's kind of this tall manor, 3 stories, and relatively simple in just like in a boxy kind of style. But the architecture of it is clearly dwarven and very clearly cared for and expensive. You can like see that there has been no cost worried about in terms of the quality of materials. However, Baldric, I was trying to remember my own fucking names. Baldric gets to the main door, and you can see that there is no locking mechanism. There's no knock. There's no handles or keyholes. However, he places a hand on kind of the main door, and it kind of dissolves away under his touch, and he gestures for you to enter. As you enter into kind of this small foyer, and you can see a kind of ward is separated on the right, and they gesture to say that this lower section would be Ingrid's domicile, while the rest of the house would be for Dallin.
Maybe Gordo could pop magical or detect magic again.
Okay.
Let's do it.
As you pop detect magic once more, you notice the door to the apartment or suite that would be Ingrid's room. You notice a strong aura of abjuration on top of it. The door itself is kind of glowing this faint blue under your detect magic. Nothing else necessarily catches your eye from this foyer area, but this door is the first thing that kind of that glints as important.
Abjuration's like protecting magic, right?
Yeah. Say again?
We should look behind this door.
Sure. As you approach the door, knowing it's guarded, it's a normal door. You go to check it, and it is in fact locked.
Yeah, Baldric, do you have you did the hand thing? Could you do that to this door?
Well, the access to the Solinar estate is granted only to a Solinar, so I have access to get inside. However, the locks inside are typical locks, and you can see the two of them are getting kind of like more and more like weirded out about the idea of like breaking and entering as like holy men. They're just kind of getting
opening this
awkward
door
about it, but I don't know. Go ahead with your thieves' tools.
And I'll try and talk them down. Like, you gotta be thorough, you know.
All for the investigation.
What does that give you?
Add thieves'
21.
tools.
Or 23, sorry.
As you attempt to try and pick this lock, it does not go.
Wow.
A 23.
I kick it down.
No, don't try that shit.
I'm gonna try and break it.
Mentioned to inside.
Oh,
let me
God.
give
Let me
you a
try and
little
break
like.
I'm gonna break the lock with my
Make a strength check. Straight
Let me.
D20 plus your strength modifier.
I can help inspire you with this shit. You don't need to go all Brutus on it.
So my strength.
Should only be like a 3 or something like that.
It is +3, yes. 17.
You haul off and try and just boot the door, and both Braun and Baldric are just like jump back, expecting this to have not gone so drastically.
As it's like Valentine's talking, you just see in the background Hondo's like backing up.
And as you slam into the door, you know when you hit like a baseball with a wooden bat and it just like, or a metal bat and it reverberates through your hand? It's like that through your leg, and it fucking hurts, and it does not budge.
I'll go back up to you, Hondo, and put an arm around you and be like, just a little more subtle. I believe in you. You got this. Just try that lock again, and I'll inspire you.
Okay.
And both Braun and Baldric start putting their hands up and saying, perhaps we could do this less aggressively. I assumed this would be more subtle.
Of course. I'm talking to my friend. He lost his head there for a moment. Add a D10 to that, Hondo.
Okay.
Are you trying to pick the lock or kick it down this time?
Pick lock.
Okay. Okay, what does that bring it to?
So
17 plus your thieves'
so
tools.
29.
With that, level heads prevail, and you pick the lock once more. And Gord, with your detect magic, you notice as the lock is unlocked, you see that blue magic fade away. And the door opens. Inside, you see a small apartment, though similar in like size and shape of the apartment that Sister Agatha's, but this would be a 2-floor thing with like this nice loft atop, and in it. It is more ornately decorated. You can see there's a lot more like golden gilding, and there are little knickknacks and little bits and bobs, and some nicer things here. She is less minimalist than Sister Agatha was. But there's no immediate response of anything really.
Does anything light up for Gordon there?
As you make your way in, nothing here lights up.
Well, at least we know that there's nothing there that's...
Yeah.
Nothing, nothing
worth
obvious, I should say.
stealing?
Say again?
Anything worth stealing?
I mean, there's lots of bits and bobs and lots of things that look nice, but you're flanked by 2 like holy men of the Red Keep.
I'll nudge Mary and be like, maybe check that place out.
Yeah, what am I... Admittedly, I don't quite know what I'm looking for.
As you guys have now opened the door and moved your way in here, before you even get a chance to... Well, you can roll your check, you'll get a chance, but as it happens... I'm trying to think of everyone's passive perceptions. Gord, Hondo, and Valentine have the highest passive perceptions.
My passive perception is 21 now.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Hondo's is ridiculous too.
Hondo's is like a 20, and I think yours is like a 17 or 18. Like they're all pretty high. The 3 of you hear movement on the floor above you, but not within this like apartment, like in the outer part of the building, like in what would be Dallin's part of the building.
I will turn to Lavender and be like, distract them, and then I will start trying to move up those stairs quietly.
And I'll say, I would love to distract them. Okay, let me see here. Do I have to roll for anything?
You need to make a deception check with disadvantage. Valentine needs to make a stealth check, just straight up.
You have to roll it twice and now take the lower one. Great.
13.
13.
With plus 9, so.
21?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Or 20.
Okay. All right. That gives them disadvantage to notice Valentine.
And I got 20 on my stealth roll.
Okay. Let's see. This could be close. You've certainly distracted Baldric. He is fully enveloped in whatever you're saying.
He's in.
But did you get Braun? I need to see what his number is.
Classic Braun.
Got to see what it is. I think you're good. You rolled 20. I don't think his perception is that high.
Yep.
If this ever loads.
My investigation check was also 20, but I'm looking for something specific, so let me know.
Okay. You and Hondo and Gord notice that Valentine slips out of the room, and he does not seem to notice. The two of Mordan do not notice. Valentine leaves, and Lavender, you are actively kind of entertaining them and keeping them distracted. As Mary, what are you looking for?
I want to, I guess I'll just quickly look around the whole thing, but I specifically want to check laundry baskets and where she might hang her clothes to see if any of them have a rip in them.
Sure. You quickly make your way around and find the laundry, find everything that you are looking for in a very quick amount of time. However, you do not find any ripped clothes. You see several different kinds of these red and white robes that the artisans would wear, but you don't find anything that is anything that's torn or ripped.
Okay, I don't want to spend a crap ton of time in here because I don't want to look too. I don't know. Look like I'm trying to play it off, right? I'll just kind of pipe up once to what's his name? To Braun, and just say, you were the one who thought she was acting strange. Is there anything you want to look for? Try to involve him so that he's also looking in this room, so we're not the only ones to get in shit.
He kind of does a quick glance around, and he says, "I've never necessarily been in here. I don't know what is amiss. I can't say I know what to look for in these situations. This is not my area of expertise."
No, that's understandable.
Valentine, as you make your way up the stairs, as quietly as you kind of make your way up and around, basically this lower apartment is this kind of smaller structure where the stairs would go up and on top, and you can see there's this wraparound loft that is essentially on top of where her apartment is. And as you make your way up the stairs and around onto this area, there's another secondary floor, and you begin kind of quickly making your way around, and you
Can I one thing before I crest the top?
Yeah.
Can I cast invisibility on myself?
Yeah, sure. As you go invisible on the stairs, you make your way around the corner, cresting the stairs around the corner, and looking down this kind of estate hall. At the far end of the room, or far end of the hall, you see a door quickly close.
Okay, I want to stealthily move towards that door.
Okay. Make a stealth check with advantage.
That dice is so loud.
It's this metal one. 19 plus 8 is 17.
Ooh. 27, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I rolled a natural 20, but you still
I accidentally deleted invisibility from my spell list while trying to cast it.
How the fuck did you do that?
I don't know. Okay, we're good.
As you quickly make your way down to this room, you believe you are being as stealthy as you could be. And you make your way, and you kind of lean towards the side of the room. You can hear there's somebody on the other side, moving around.
I want to move back a little ways. How long is this hallway that I'm in right now?
It's probably like 100 feet, 80 feet maybe.
Oh, really?
It's a long hall, yeah.
And then I'm just going to quietly, in the earring, be like, there might be someone up here. Wait for my signal. And then I'm going to creep back towards the door.
Okay. You all hear that. Except Lavender.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm busy, big boy.
She's busy being entertaining.
I will try and listen really hard through that door to see if I can hear if it's just one person or what they're doing.
Okay, make a perception check. What are the rest of you guys doing as you hear that call?
I rolled a 21.
Okay. Are you guys doing anything when you hear that call, or just waiting?
Just kind of on standby.
Okay.
I'm just on standby.
As you listen closely to the door, you can hear, it sounds like a singular person or thing moving around in the room beyond. You kind of hear a shuffling of things. There is a heavy kind of latch sound, like either a chest closed or a door closed or a door open. You know, it's that kind of turning mechanism of a knob or something, like this heavy metal sound. And then it does it again. And that's about what you hear before things quiet once more.
I'm going to try this door.
It is locked.
Does it still sound like someone's moving in there?
Make another perception check at this point. As you spent like a couple of minutes now, like I would say like 2 minutes listening and waiting.
16 plus 11 is 27.
A lot. You hear no more movement, but you hear someone is still in there, and you can hear them trying to hide their breath. They are hiding.
Okay. What are you guys doing while I figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do?
It's now been about 4 minutes of since Valentine last contacted you. You guys can continue searching. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But you heard the message from Valentine a couple of minutes ago, and you haven't heard a follow-up yet. There's been nothing with the investigation checks. There's been nothing else magical in nature in this room. Gord, your detect magic is still at half. You got 10 minutes. You got another 5 minutes or so, but nothing else has popped. Everything here is just kind of like a person's house is books. There's a small cupboard of little food and stuff like that, and dishes and things. A lot of religious texts and things like that. Nothing else untoward.
I'll kind of just hiddenly start the message and to Valentine, or I guess to the whole group, because otherwise I have to say his name, right?
Yeah. There's other rooms. There's some small section of rooms, so you could go to another room as Lavender is distracting the boys.
Okay. Basically, just trying to say something yes, everything looks strangely normal here. I'm not sure what kind of sign we're looking for. Just wonder if everything's equally fine throughout this place. I don't want to have to search the whole thing.
I will count this door. I will count if this is the fifth door on the left or whatever.
It's the first door down this hall. So essentially you came up the stairs, you went around a wall into this open landing, and down this long hall. At the very end of this hall there's a door.
And that's the one they're in?
That's the one they're in.
So I will relay that just on my earring. I'll be like, come upstairs, there's someone hiding, go all the way down the hall, it's the door at the very end. And then I'm gonna dimension door inside it.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So this is what I'm wondering. I'm still invisible. Dimension door isn't. I don't know how this works. I just used the first level one, so I think it breaks.
I'm pretty sure it breaks because it's cast a spell. It's not any. It's as soon as you cast a spell, it's dropped. It's also a second, but that doesn't make a difference. Where are you in here? Let me be sure. Because greater invisibility, you could have kept it.
Yes. So I didn't do that though. I just did the second.
Yeah. So you apparate into this room in a cloud of this kind of faintly greenish smoke, and immediately you are inside a small kind of sitting room. You can see a chaise lounge, like a little couple of bookshelves and stuff like that, and this nice window that looks out over towards the keep. But kind of hiding in this one corner with a small bundle held under one arm and a vial held up in her hand, you see this young-looking blonde dwarf. And she's kind of panting and out of breath and says, I don't know who you are, but you need to get out of here.
Hey, be easy. You don't want to do anything old person.
Okay.
Nice.
Why can't I open anything right now? Hold on, give me 2 seconds. So, Val, as you go to cast whole person, I'm going to have you and this person roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
Okay. Big
That's
money.
bad.
Big money.
That's real bad. I don't think you're going to do worse than this.
Okay, I got
She doesn't seem strong.
18.
I got 2. So you act first. And your action casts whole person.
Wisdom 17.
All right, wisdom. Let's go with this dice. Oh, ball sacks. Yeah, fail. As you cast the spell, and you can see she was about to let go, and her hand freezes in the motion, holding on to the edge of this vial. How long does whole person last?
It says a minute.
Ooh.
Do they?
It says, okay, so sorry, the target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed for the duration. At the end of each of its turn, the target can make another wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And it lasts concentration up to 1 minute.
Okay, so for her turn, nothing happens, but at the end of her turn, she can get a save against your spell.
Yep. So I quickly go on the earring and I go, disco, 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 come upstairs. And then I rush forward to her and I try and grab the thing from her grasp.
The vial?
Yeah.
Make a dexterity check to see if you can get it from her grasp without breaking it.
Sure. Oh god, yeah, that's scary.
Oh my god, in your hands.
Okay, that's not bad. Dex check
Yeah, straight dex.
is 17.
Yeah, you managed to pull it from her grasp, which is difficult because her hand is it's literally paralyzed.
Like
but,
Jenga?
Yeah, but because she was about to throw it, it's only in like 2 fingers. So you managed to just squeeze it away, but that's your action for that turn. So now she gets another save. Oh my god, I'm rolling like balls. Still paralyzed.
What are my friends doing?
The rest of
I'm
you,
running up to Val.
it'll take you guys at full dash, even with like Mary and Hondo's crazy speed and feline agility. It'll still take you guys 3 rounds to reach this spot, just the way full dashing works.
3 rounds.
Lavender, you watch as you're entertaining these 2 guys. Everyone sprints the fuck out. You have no idea why.
Yeah, I'm just like.
And the 2 of them are like, what's going on? And they're just watching as all 3, 4, everybody else just fucking books it. Mary like vaults over the banister and ups the stairs. Like shit turns sideways. Val, it is your turn.
Question: how am I doing?
You're keeping them fucking distracted.
Great.
Great. You rolled very high, and one of them was already under your spell. The other is just too awkward to leave.
It's a full day too. You have all your stuff back because we slept.
Yeah, you're full
You're
up on
not.
spells
You're not
and
dying anymore.
Yeah, you have all your spells. You can do whatever you want if you want to do something.
All your health too.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fully healed. Val,
So
your
my
turn.
turn. So is she holding a package of them? What's she holding?
So she held one out, but yeah, she's got a small bundle in the left arm, kind of crook of her arm. It looks like it kind of looks similar in the crate, but like you can see it's like a burlap sack around something heavy.
So I will try and. Can you tell me what I could do? Could I try and put this in my bag of holding and also try and grab the bundle? Not to put that in the bag of holding, but try and wrench it from her.
Yeah, I could say you could slip one in your bag as you go to take it, so easily enough. One goes into the bag, and make a dex check for the rest.
It's like 13 again, so 13 plus 4 is 17. Right?
Okay.
15, 16, 17. Oh, it's 18, sorry.
This one is more difficult, and it takes you a little bit more to like weasel it out of her paralyzed grasp, because she had that one a little bit more tucked inside. And you can hear as you pull it free with almost like a wrenching, the burlap kind of rips around it, and this chest slips from your grasp, and you kind of slide it and hold it underneath, and you can kind of just hear the tinkling of glass within.
No.
And you're just like frozen holding it, and that's the end of your turn.
Oh, fuck.
Is it necessary that I keep these people, like, entertained?
No, you can come upstairs. You can do whatever you want if you saw them run.
Okay.
I mean, they're suspicious, obviously. They saw us go. It's totally up to you to what you would think Lavender would do.
That's only a 15. So that's 1 round of everyone sprinting, 4 rounds of concentration.
Maybe
Your turn
another
again.
round of them sprinting.
It'd be, yeah, so 2 rounds sprinting. They'll be there in another round.
I'm gonna put the chest. Is the chest fittable in my bag of holding?
Too big. It'd be close, but it would take a bit of doing, and you want to be very careful with it, so it would take your full action. But I guess you could.
Can you describe the room to me? Sorry, really quickly. I basically want to put the chest away from her and me, and stand in between her and I.
It's like a 20-foot square room, maybe 30-foot square room, just kind of sitting room. There's a couple of couches, coffee table, bookshelf, shit like that. So you could set it on one side of the
Could I
room.
put it beneath the coffee table if that's on the other side of the room?
Sure.
And then bonus action, if I can, I'll just click on Heartbreaker and be like, be cool, be cool.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I've rolled 3 13s tonight, but I rolled a 9. You said disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
So 9 plus persuasion is 13, so that's 22.
Okay. You're not sure whether it did anything or not. Her face is frozen as part of the spell. End of her turn. She gets another save. Fuck, that's bad. 12. No movement on her side. At this point, the rest of your group, full sprinting, you see a door at the end of a hall, and it is closed, and it's the only direction you guys have. As you reach it and slam into it one by one, it is closed and locked. Gord, you do not see any kind of blue haze of magic on this door. It seems just like a regular door.
Whose turn is it now?
I'm gonna do group turn. Was that so? Val, you again?
Do I hear them slam against the door?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try and back up to it and unlock it.
Okay. There's no key for you to obviously, like, it looks like a key was put in to lock it.
Not like a house door.
No.
Like that. Okay. Then if I see that, I will just stare back at her. I'll move back to her and I'll be like, we don't want to hurt you. We don't want anyone to get hurt here. Let's just have a conversation and we can calm down. And I'll click off Heartbreaker.
Make another persuasion check at disadvantage.
Yeah, it's a nat 1. It's not going to go well.
Yeah, that you still can't tell.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
But it was me screaming it. Be cool!
Yeah.
To hurt you.
You
Oh my
turned
God.
Heartbreaker off at least, so maybe you're a little less aggressive. At the end of her turn, that is a 17.
Then she hits it.
So, she breaks through the spell, but that's the end of her turn. You can see the spell wear off of her, and she's still like in that position, and her hand drops, and you can see her try and just get crouched down like a cornered animal. She's nervous and scared and angry all at once. Group turn. Door is locked. What do you do?
Kick it down.
Make a
say,
strength check.
I'd say Alana
Yeah.
and let
Can
her
I
through.
just kind of like, I'm going to take my elbow and just kind of.
Make a strength check.
Okay. Oh, 18 plus.
Girl.
Plus.
I love that Hondo rolled a 10, so it's gonna be Hondo hitting it unsuccessfully.
And then Alana just blasting past it.
Yeah, plus 5.
Okay. So, Hondo, you go to kick out, and before your foot connects, Alana has already smashed through the door. It splinters halfway through, and your first step into the room is this, and you kind of jump into the room on your kicking foot as the rest of you bust into this small sitting room. Valentine is kind of standing, hands up, Heartbreaker in one hand, but not turned on. You see this young-looking blonde dwarf female. She's wearing red and white robes and is kind of scared and pulling into this corner of this room. Is there anything, Mary, you're the only one who didn't try to do anything, so you technically would have an action.
How far away is she from?
Come to if you
You
want.
said 20-foot room.
25 feet. It's like 20 foot square. So maybe like,
Because you have to
I was thinking sphere, sorry. Radius. Like 30 feet, 40 feet.
How fast can you fly?
Okay.
She's not holding anything anymore because Valentine took things from her.
Ooh, that's fast. Don't do it.
Her hands are empty.
Be really fucking cool.
Okay. I'm going to. Fuck me.
Fuck me.
Shit. I'll run in and stand. No, I'm just gonna tackle her. Like try to restrain.
Okay.
I talk to the guys and I'm like, I'll just see you in a second. I'm just gonna check on my friends, and then I use fly.
Okay. Just cast fly on yourself. Bust out of the room.
Get out of there.
The two of them are just like kicked up in a cloud of dust.
Fly 60 feet.
Mary, you can get to her. You might need to use your bonus action to dash to get the room.
I have
by the
nothing
time
else to use that for, so.
Exactly. So you make an athletics check, and I make an athletics or acrobatics. Wow.
I
You're not
rolled
my
a
friend tonight.
I rolled a 19.
I rolled a 4. So
19 plus. I guess it doesn't really matter, but 19 plus 7.
yeah, you managed to sprint into the room, having Alana and Hondo kick through the door. You charge through and like dive over top of this couch and tackle this girl, and are holding her almost in like a half crouched position. You guys are gonna control this combat, and she's not gonna fight, through all of you. So combat is gonna end as Lavender flies into the room, now seeing all of you guys here collectively.
I'll just say, if you don't try anything, we're just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Val, and I'll look over him because we don't know that she had those vials.
She had vials. She almost smashed one. I'm still shaking. Lavender can fly. That's fucking crazy. Listen, what's your name? What's your name, lady?
She looks to you.
Kevin, or Hondo, she is tackled.
He just piles on.
You just also add to Mary's dog pile on her?
She looks to you but doesn't say anything.
That's cool. That's cool. You can play this.
I put friends on her because I just got there. She doesn't like I'm like new to the scene, and I'm like, girl, how are you doing? You've been trapped up in this room. Are you okay? And everyone's like, what the?
As you cast the spell, she doesn't react to you.
Then I pull my dagger out.
It has no effect.
I pretend like I was just talking to Broly the whole time because I'm embarrassed.
You say you pulled out a dagger?
You pull your dagger?
Talk, woman. We don't have time for this.
Make an intimidation check.
There you go, buddy. Roll that phone.
Oh, finally.
Ooh.
I know you did it.
I roll such a decent roll and you still beat it. With the dagger to her throat and this whole thing falling around her, you can see she doesn't say anything. You don't manage to get a confession out of her. You can see her eyes as you and Mary are both on top of her, essentially, pinning her. You can see her eyes are very distant. They're very bloodshot around the edges, and she says nothing, but you can feel her kind of relax in your grip, like she's not gonna fight. But that's about all you get. She still doesn't say anything.
Is she under a spell?
Is Brock's detect magic pick up anything?
Not on her, but Brock,
Blue?
your detect magic does detect a significant aura of evocation coming from underneath a coffee table. To the point where it is like, Pulp Fiction opening the briefcase and it's glowing. Just from under this coffee table, there's this golden glow of evocation that is new to you. And you've never seen these vials.
I will mention be super careful with that chest. It's explosive. If we rattle it too much, it's gonna kill us all.
Gord, you also notice with your detect magic, actually, what's the range? Is there a range of how far away you can see something glow?
I can look it up.
1 second.
Oh, within 30 feet.
10 meters, 30 feet.
Sorry. Within 30 feet, as you kind of enter the room as well, you notice the chest is close to you, and it immediately catches your eye. But you also notice the door. There's a door that she's kind of standing near. It is also has this aura of abjuration that you noticed on the door downstairs. It's kind of the door in the far right corner of the room.
I'll kind of start to let go and say, Hondo, keep her here for a sec. And I'll pull out, I have manacles. So I'm going to just put the manacles on her. If she said she wasn't resisting. And
she still kind of tries to resist, but
okay.
With you guys all
Sure.
fucking around. She's not going to beat you is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
But she's going to try.
And I'll just kind of call down, Baldric, you may want to come up here.
Over a few minutes later, you hear a cane clattering up the stairs, and you hear the two of them begin to make their way. But you have a few, probably minutes before they actually reach you if you want to do anything else.
Hondo, can you try that door back there? That Gordo notices glowing?
Do you want me to kick it or pick the lock?
You know what? Let's try picking the lock this time.
Okay. Just checking.
Guys, you saved me. You rushed so quickly.
Oh, is that a 13?
Yep.
What's
Plus?
your plus 12?
Plus 12.
That's the DC. You get through this lock, and he's like, this is an easy lock, but there's something more keeping it at bay. There's something making it more difficult for you. Something is seizing the lockup, but you manage to get through it, and the door unlocks, and you, as Mary, as you're finishing the manacles, she begins to very much fight you as this door swings inward, to which you see a set of stairs. It's almost like a closet, but these stairs descend into a dark stone chamber.
I run down.
Okay. You run down, and it's pitch black down there, and it's very low, like low for dwarves. So you're almost on your hands and knees as you get low into what is like a cellar. It's cold. Make a perception check. You have dark vision, so you're fine.
It's a 6
plus some stuff.
Perception plus 10, 16.
That's still enough. That's crazy. You're in what is like a small cellar, like a cold cellar. You see a bunch of jars of fucking bullshit. But more importantly, you see a slumped body in the far corner of the room.
What?
I messaged the group, there's a body down here.
What?
Oh my god, we're gonna get blamed for all this, aren't we?
Can I investigate who the body is?
Yeah, do it.
Sure. As Hondo, as you make your way over to this body, and you're still kind of on your hands and knees, like it's maybe 4 foot height here, so like you could be squat, but it's just easier to crawl. You reach over to this body, and you have dark vision, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly, but as you grab hold of this body, it's wearing these this like gray robe, and you flip it over, and you see a one-armed dwarf.
Oh shit!
You see, drained like Murph was, skin like pulled taut to the cheeks, and eyes sunken and gone. The face of a dwarf you met today, Dallin Greystone.
This ain't good.
It's a Dallin. He looks like Murph. Basically shriveled up and useless now.
Let's
Just
not.
wait.
Don't say anything about that. If someone's pretending to be Dallin, we need them to keep pretending to be Dallin right now. We can't give our hand away.
But
At this point,
do we tell
Baldric
Lisa, hello?
and Braun walk into the room, and are both visibly shocked to see you guys have Ingrid in chains as they rush over
Is
halfway.
it Ingrid? We didn't know yet.
Yeah, we don't.
They rush over.
I don't trust anyone.
They rush over, shouting, "What have you done to?" And
Hey.
they're very confused.
Relax. Ingrid here. I heard her upstairs. I came up. You know what she had? And I'll take out the vial. She had this, which is the explosive thing. Put it away. And she also had that chest of more explosive things. She threatened to kill us all. She was going to smash that thing down and blow this up.
I'll
They're both just speechless.
Does she still look kind of out of it?
No, she's just. Well, she looks out of it in the way that she's just ignoring everything. Hondo, you also notice as you turn this figure over, there's a small chest near where this body is that is currently locked. Or is not locked. It's closed.
Can I insight check these bitches and make sure they
Are actually
shocked?
supplies?
Yeah.
Sure. Give me an insight check. And Kev, the chest is not locked. As you open it, you see a couple of scrolls, like magic scrolls, but you're not sure what they are without like investigating them further. But there's three scrolls in this chest.
I just take them, put them back in Abulite, and I'll get to them later.
Okay.
Just 13 for my insight.
They're pretty obviously, almost animatedly, like surprised, and like this has been a day of craziness for them. Like they haven't seen this much crazy shit happen in their entire lives, so they are just blown backwards. And like Braun specifically seems very like confused, like watching his friend be attacked and then accused of a lot of shit.
Braun, Baldric, look into my eyes. These are the eyes of a truthful man. I want you to go downstairs and look at what my dear friend Hondo just discovered.
What? You trust me?
I wouldn't know that, though, right?
You're about to come upstairs. You said you were leaving, right? So you're about to come up the cellar stairs as they both say, down where? And Hondo enters the room.
From those secret stairs that my friend Hondo just went up. Hondo, I trust them.
I don't trust anyone.
And
I'll
that's
go
why
with it.
I go with them.
Okay.
Okay. They both.
I'll like kind of quietly go to Allie. You should go too.
Please babysit Hondo.
Yeah, it's kind of what it means.
Who's gonna be holding? Oh,
I have. She's in chain.
Alana, you follow behind Hondo as you lead them back down the stairs. Braun and Baldric out front, right behind Hondo, and Alana, you taking up the rear. The four of you make it below, and the three dwarves you're finding easier to stand down here. It's still low, but like comfortably for you, where Hondo is crawling. And he leads you over to a body similarly drained as you've seen. Baldric full on like gasps with a hand to his mouth, and Braun is just, if he wasn't speechless before, he's definitely now. They both don't know how to react, but Baldric makes it over to Dallin and like begins placing hands on him and like trying to touch him and like basically do like a medical check to see what has happened to him. And this takes a little bit of time. So the four of you are down there for a minute as the four of you upstairs. What are you guys doing?
I turn to Lavender and I'm like, what took you so long? They got here so quickly. What were you doing?
I was, you were in the room. I was distracting them the whole time.
It's just, if you're going to be a part of the team, you got to come when someone's in danger. You need to learn a lot about teamwork.
To be fair, she doesn't have an earring and also has no idea what disco means.
Mary, that's too kind.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Mary.
Look, I don't know what our fucking play is here. I don't know how we're going to convince them this isn't our fault. I really wish Newbeer was here right now. At least we could try to talk to these dead people. I wonder if anyone else here can do that.
Animate the dead.
They can't talk if you animate them. That's the downside. Speak with dead is what I was hoping for, but
I can't do that.
I know.
Can you talk to dead people?
I have undercommon.
I think that's just the language.
Yeah, it's the language of the Underdark.
What do we do here next? We can't leave this fucking guy. Him and his whatever this Ingrid chick is. They were near the king. We gotta go get the king.
Oh, they're not gonna let us in to get the king. Wait, but Ingrid was supposed to be watching the king, so if she's not,
then who is there?
Yes.
If it's another body double or something, I don't know.
Well, we also don't know. Hondo's back down there.
So we saw
Murph. We saw Murph alive. We have no idea how long this process takes. I think our best play, and these two are gonna fuck it up for us. Our best play is gonna be to pretend that we don't know that he's dead.
So we saw him today, which means whatever imposters are there can not just invade someone's body and puppet them around, but they doubled for that person.
Well, we don't know that for sure because remember when we found Murph, he became this shell of a person in minutes. We don't know that for sure. We suspect it.
You think maybe he is? We saw that. You're right. So he could have just. That could have just
happened. It seems unlikely to me, but you never know.
But you're right.
I think our best play is to try to find that out. If there is a way we can request his presence, we found his apprentice here, and he of course would probably want to know that his apprentice is here. He should come see her. Maybe he can talk some sense out of her. If he shows up, we know there's a problem.
At this point, the four of you from below made your way back upstairs, and Braun and Baldric are bringing the drained body of Dallin up with them, and they set it on top of a couch, like the little love seat couch that's in the room, and they're both just like flabbergasted, like ashen, unsure of what the fuck to do. Hondo, you also have the chest with you.
I'll try to. Who was the person who messaged last time?
Baldric.
Okay. I'll try to approach Baldric and say, I know this is all crazy and sudden. We don't know if this is the same person we spoke to an hour ago. When can you message him, or who would be near him right now that you could message to find out where he is?
Baldric looked as you began talking. He wasn't even like hardly paying attention. He was 1,000 miles away, and just staring down at this body. But he kind of snaps to, shakes his head a bit, and says, "The Dallin we saw today was. They can't be the same. This Dallin has been dead for weeks."
Oh, he
We saw the same with a man who tried to throw a vial down, and then in moments he looked just like this man.
I know not what magic can do this. He looks, the signs of decay are here from weeks of...
This could be perhaps how long someone has been being an imposter of him. While this is happening, could I go to that chest, carefully open it, put the vial back in?
The chest is locked.
Okay, great. Could I try and then gently put that in my bag of holding?
Give me a dexterity check.
Okay. 15.
Yep, easy enough. You take very slow care, and you're trying to be conscious of like the bag of holding is an extra dimensional space, so there's not like you have to place it carefully on a shelf, but you are trying as carefully as possible to lay it into this extra dimensional space as flatly as possible, and are a little concerned that should your bag of holding get fucked with, there's a small monumental explosion that could happen.
Yeah.
There's a nuclear bomb in your bag. Great.
Yep, great.
Something to keep aware of.
I'll just kind of. Can I take a look at Ingrid? I'll just quickly pat her down just to make sure, yes, in fact, she is who she said she is. She's the right height. All that shit as I'm talking.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Anyone have any like divine magic we could try on this check?
Investigation.
Out loud or just?
Yeah, I forgot we have priests here. Yeah, I'll ask them. Do you guys have any sort of divine magic you could try? Whether it's dispel a curse or even try and cast some sort of divine
restoration.
Painful magic. I want to see if this person is under the effects of a dark influence.
Make a persuasion check.
I got a 27.
A 27?
Yep.
She is wearing red and white robes, and on the back, shoulder, her right back shoulder, you see a small rip. Ooh. in the red cloth, and in a pocket, there's a very thin chain with a little key on it. There's a small key on the end of this chain.
Murderer. I got 30 for persuasion.
Holy fuck.
Baldric and Braun both say we both are bestowed with magic from Mordan, and we could try and dispel if there is any effect on Ingrid. It's possible.
Click on Heartbreaker and be like, I will guard you while you do this.
They both kind of look at each other and then look at you guys for confirmation, and Baldric steps forward and with his holy symbol reaches out and touches Ingrid's forehead.
Get ready if something crazy happens here, guys. Get ready if something crazy here happens.
Yeah.
He reaches out, and you see this kind of golden wash across her, and you watch as it just kind of like covers her from head to toe, and you see this like in her eyes, this like the bloodshot and like the deepness of her eyes, like they come back to focus and everything comes back to her, and the color kind of returns, and she's got these like really brilliant blue eyes, and she's looking up at Baldric and looks at you all and kind of starts breathing very heavily and then just starts bawling.
Nothing like pops out of her exorcist style or anything. Okay.
I'll take the manacles off.
She doesn't fight you back. She just like falls back, clutching her knees to her chest, and just cries a lot. Braun moves forward and just starts like comforting her, and Baldric returns to you, Valentine, and the rest of your group, and says, "There was something indeed a hold of her. I don't know exactly what, but it was dispelled. Some magic got rooted in her mind. We managed to pull away. How did you know that was there?"
I didn't. We witnessed a man, just like we spoke about with Dallin, who seemed like something was possessing him, and just a hunch that maybe something had taken her over. Also, this look in her eye, like she wasn't in control of herself.
Do you know of any creature or person that could do such a thing?
Does Valentine?
You can make... let's look at your...
Scott might, but I don't know if Valentine would.
Make an Arcana check. Arcana's cool for this.
Uh, 24.
Ooh. You know that there are many different ways you can manipulate someone's mind, different charm effects, different dominations, different controls. A plethora of things jumps to your mind. But there's something about the... there's something you're not piecing quite together that you don't have the answer for, but there's something about creatures who can do this kind of control and the way you found two of their supposed victims drained.
Mm-hmm.
There's a connection there, and you know it's there, but you're not fully aware of what it is. If you had some kind of if you had a place to like look at books and like if you're trying to pull it from your memory, you don't have it, you could research it. You know like what to look for and where to look. You just don't have it right directly there. So like if you had access, you could figure it out.
I would have to consult a library of some kind, but there's some connection between the withered state we find this poor man in and the way they were enthralled. There's something there. I'm not too sure. It is magical, though.
If a library or archives are what you need, we could certainly get you access to the archives of the Red Keep.
Here's what we need to talk about in this room right now, though. What do we do next?
What do we do with her?
Is she still inconsolable?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
What do we do with... I guess... Do you have any way of contacting whoever's guarding the king now to see if there are an imposter Ingrid or imposter that dead dude there? Dallin?
You're asking Baldric, sorry?
Yeah.
To contact the king?
Sorry, I want to know if there is an imposter Dallin or Ingrid guarding the king right now. If he could somehow message someone else who's near the king to just see who's around.
He says the only one who should be tending to the king would be Dallin, whoever this not Dallin is. But
if there's someone who you know of who would be at least in the vicinity, could you message that person and just ask? Just say.
Who do we trust? Like we have to phrase it so carefully.
And I don't know who would be there. The Solinar are the most trusted. If not the royal line, we would be the next in line to be the people to check on these matters. That's why Dallin is there. Not Dallin is there.
Where is the queen at? She's obviously maybe mentally taken up because the king is ill. Maybe she is one of the best people we could trick to just tell us if Dallin is there.
I hesitate to call
Honestly,
the queen.
this isn't the time for hesitation. I'm just saying.
I understand, but I'm hesitant to call the queen in on these matters when I don't understand what has happened.
So
she is a brilliant and powerful woman, but she has a unchecked rage that should we say there is someone meddling in her court, and especially with her king, with her father, I fear that she'll see blood.
Here's the thing: if we know who this thing is impersonating, if we call them out on it, let's just talk this through. If we call them out on it before we have the chance to do anything about it, that means that it's over. We have no idea who they are anymore. We have no idea what place they're trying to take. Likely they'll be able to tell that Ingrid is no longer under their control. Is there a way for us... That's what I mean. Is there a way for us to play this off like this was successful?
I think we got, like, what if by him dispelling whatever control was on her, whatever body was doing that, whatever evil entity, what if they immediately now know, oh shit, one of my thralls is broke?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to go to the king right now before some bad shit goes down.
Would that not happen if she was successful in this and she killed herself?
The DM laughed. There's scary things happening right now.
Yeah. You guys have very good timing. At this point, you hear a significant amount of alarm bells ringing from within the keep.
Oh, fuck me.
At least now we have all these explosives.
Oh, God.
God.
A alarm is ringing throughout the keep. Braun and Ingrid and Baldric all quickly looked at one another and say, something has happened. Something has happened within the keep.
Let's go back to the keep.
Fucking hell.
Let's drag the dead body. We got to bring it with us as evidence. Hondo, maybe you should carry this fucking old dude. I will... Brawley and I can be on Ingrid. We'll move her, and let's go back to this keep.
You guys begin running full sprint. Baldric definitely taking up the rear, but between a couple of you able to kind of spirit him along.
You can piggyback on Hondo.
Baldric almost says, if only you had a flying carpet, this would make this so much easier.
I literally just thought
Take out the goddamn carpet.
I'm up on.
Oh, great.
Stupid carpet.
Utilizing your abilities to move as quickly as possible, you make your way inside the keep, and mayhem has taken the keep. There are people all rushing throughout the halls, and soldiers rushing, and you can see a procession running up, this massive grand staircase. And you, Valentine, are... Kevin, Hondo and Gord, what are your passive perceptions? I know Val's. Yeah. If it's above... Tell me if it's 20 or above. I know Val's is 21. I think, Kevin, yours is 20.
My passive perception is 20.
Okay. Gord, yours is low.
Mine's
Just let me...
17.
Yeah, okay. The two of you notice... through this crowd, as you guys are rushing through and trying to just sift your way through this crowd, and you can see people just milling about in the halls, this deafening kind of ringing, banging bell. You see Dallin about 150 feet within the crowd, and he is just moving away from you in the crowd.
I messaged the group. I see Dallin. He's getting away.
Oh, you guys are both at the same time. We're on video chat. I can't hear this.
Hondo, you go first.
I messaged through the earring. I said, I see Dallin, but he's trying to get away from us. I'm pursuing him.
It's just Hondo and I see that?
Yeah.
I tell Baldric that. I'm like, the fake Dallin is trying to get away. I'll be right back. And then I grab Brawley's hand.
Yeah.
And then I will cape Dimension Doris over to him.
Okay. You appear...
Hondo said he was going too.
I know. Hondo's running, though. So Val can Dimension Door in 500 feet, so he can get there in an instant. Hondo will get there in about 12 seconds. He's pretty fucking fast. But Val and Brawley, suddenly you land directly in front of this fake Dallin. And there's a quizzical look on his face as you guys both appear, and he stares at you for a moment and then smiles and just disappears.
Son of a bitch. I'll click out Heartbreaker.
As you guys you're staring at this disappearing figure, Honda, you rush in and you follow up, pushing through people, just bowling people over. The bell begins to dissipate as the three of you group up. The rest of you slowly making your way up from behind, and you can hear people in the halls. Everyone just different ways of saying, "The king is dead. The king is dead. The king is dead." And the stairs up to his quarters are just awash with soldiers rushing up, and apparently the king is dead.
How did he die?
We gotta go see the king. I motion for Baldric and the carpet to get the fuck over here.
They're making the carpet can move pretty fast, so they make their way to you, and they recite the same information they've heard, and with the carpet you guys can and the rest of you just kind of running and stiffly and your other different abilities for flying up and over crowds. Mira, stop.
Dimension doors to the king.
I only got so many dimension doors.
She's snoring so weird. Sorry.
I have a cat playing with a crazy bell thing down here. So that's very nice.
Can you only dimension door to something you've seen though?
If you could, but if it's like if you tried to go on the other side of a room and there was something there, you would take damage because you'd be trying to apparate into something that's there.
Yeah, you could accidentally apparate into like a wall and take a lot of damage because you're not sure exactly where it is you're going.
Basically, you could splinch.
But when I knew the door was there, I imagined going 2 feet on the other side of the door.
Yeah,
but if there had been a
kind of
chair
stuff
there, it would have been painful. Yeah.
Exactly. Anyways, between all of your abilities, you're able to get past through the crowds and make your way. And with Baldric and Braun, and presumably someone keeping a hold of Ingrid, you make your way to the floor where the king was kept, and it's just full of guards, and guards all putting their hands up to stop. But Baldric, being a Solinar and a figure of note, he puts his hand up and says, "They need to come through. They need to see the king." And he ushers your party through as towards this room, and you can see essentially this whole floor has been open to this apartment area for just him. There's only him on this floor, and on every door, every corner, there's a group of guards. But Baldric leads you and your large party to the door that is ajar into these bed chambers, and there's these large, wide bed chambers that you enter into, and you step down a couple of steps, and it enters a long area. And at the far end of the room, there's this four-corner, bed with these heavy drapes, and you see a figure, a rather large dwarven figure, lying still in the bed. Beside the bed, you see Kildred and Urdok, and they both are just kind of head in hands and just distraught.
I'll click off Heartbreaker and move towards the king, just try and get a look at what state he's in.
Kildred immediately moves to put a hand to you, but Baldric reaches over and just says, "There's nothing we can do. Let them investigate." And Kildred is just has no energy.
I'll step forward and just try and see how does the king look? Just a basic perception, I think.
You can see the king. Make a medicine check for me, actually.
14.
The king looks like someone who's had the flu for 4 months. The sheets are soaked. He is his skin is all blotchy. He is not drained, as you've seen some of the others, but you have seen a large dagger set into his chest.
Ooh.
You can also see the king's hand resting on said dagger, indicating that he took his life. Whether it's true or not, it's for you to decide. The face is sunken in like malnutrition and in just general like having been sick forever.
Say bye to Ollie.
Bye, Ollie. Go to bed.
Bye.
You're drunk.
Yeah, he looks like he's been feverish, malnourished, and just generally ill, like horribly ill, for a long time. And certainly is dead now, and this dagger is set right over where his heart would be.
Can I get a close look at this dagger? Actually, before I do that, could I just I'll just look at Kildred and Urdok and be like, "Where is the queen?"
They both just kind of look at one another. She should be here any moment now.
Was anyone else in here? Were there any guards posted outside?
There were guards everywhere. Dallin was the only one here, but he left.
Fucking shit.
Dallin was a traitor.
Well, to be fair, Dallin himself wasn't a traitor.
Well, it's a long story. Yeah, now I'll try and get a closer look at this dagger.
Okay, make an investigation check.
21.
Oof. So lucky. As you begin investigating around this dagger, yeah, he was stabbed. There's a dagger sticking out of the king's chest.
With his hand on it.
And with his hand now kind of like fallen off the side, but as if he had stabbed himself. You see the dagger is plunged fully to the hilt into his chest. And as you kind of pull back like this robe from his kind of bare chest, you can see where there was blood that pooled out and around the dagger wound. It looks just like a regular dagger. Like it doesn't look like anything special. It looks like a bog standard dagger, but it looks like a faint bruising around the area. But as you get with a 21 investigation, it's not a bruise. There's a mark beneath the dagger wound. And you take a bit of a leap and you pull the dagger out and kind of set it off to the side.
I'll try and mage hand it to get my fingerprints off it.
Sure. Yeah, there's fingerprint dusting in D&D. You pull the dagger out, and as you do, you can see this curious symbol that looks as if it was it had like necrosis had carved into his skin in this odd symbol, this almost sigil-like symbol.
So
Don't
not
recognize it.
Not like a bite, like something was there.
Like yeah, like
Can I
something.
Can I try and draw it in my sketchbook?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need to make a check. You can copy it for sure.
Okay. I'll point to it too for Kildred, Urdok, and Baldric. I'll be like, I'm sorry, I know this is difficult, but look what was beneath this dagger.
Kildred and Baldric move in to look, but they just kind of shake their head. They have no idea. At this point, you can hear a commotion in the hallway.
I'll step away then.
And in a matter of moments, a large group of heavily armored guards burst into the room and kind of flank the entire room, just moving out almost like a flow of water through the room and around every side of the room. And coming in wearing like half plate armor with this like half cut hair, like one side is kind of shaved and this red, like flame red hair is kind of in a crazy mop on top of her head, pulled into like a rough ponytail, and like a couple of braids. This young looking female dwarf bursts into the room, and you can already see tears welling in her eyes as she rushes into the side of the king's bed. And for the first time in some of you actually have seen Queen Beldora Redmane before. But for the most part, this is the first time you guys are being introduced to Queen Beldora Redmane. And she just rushes in without a word and is kneeling beside his bedside, holding his hand and just like weeping.
I'll bow my head and just give her a moment. Just let this moment pass. Do I recognize the symbol? Can I try and take a look at this symbol?
Give me a history check.
A natural 1.
Oh.
You don't.
There's like something in the back of your mind, but you can't even try to piece it together. It means
this is
nothing
making up
to
for
you.
those like 420s you got last week.
I know. I've got to balance out.
I'll just quietly in the back mention to the group, Ingrid's going to be the key to this.
I'll nod.
We need
Is
to get
Ingrid
her
with
to.
us?
Say again?
Is Ingrid with us still?
That's up to you guys.
I would say yes.
I assume so.
Yeah.
I don't want her scampering off.
I thought
I'm
one of us
also
grabbed her.
curious what you guys have done with Dallin's body. I assumed at one point it was on a carpet.
Yeah.
I would like to keep it elevated, hopefully on the carpet, so not a lot of people can see it.
Sure.
I don't give ideas, Kev. That'd be very bad.
There's a long moment where no one says or does anything, and everyone allows the queen her space to grieve. And you watch as she looks up from, just kind of look from, opening her eyes, and she looks up, just still looking up out at nobody in particular, but you see the tears and sadness turn to rage and turn to anger, and she puts her hand up and smashing through the wall, and she catches in her hand a hammer. It's blazing with these red runes across its face. And she stands and strikes down into the stone below her and says, "Someone better give me some fucking answers now!"
I'll step forward.
Oh.
Your Majesty, my name's Valentine Amadeus Maximilian Sampson Francis Wild. I'm a member of the Wildcards. We've been investigating strange happenings around here. If you look at this, and I'll point to the carpet where the body is, that there is what's left of Dallin. The man impersonating him who is here, I think, is responsible for his death.
Is he still in the castle?
Dallin is still in the castle?
Is he?
I tried to confront him with my dear friend Brawley, Alana Brawlwyn, and he disappeared before our very eyes. I know this sounds...
Before you even continue, she turns on every guard in there and says, "Fan out and find him, now. I want him in my throne room immediately."
I know
and
this might...
half the guards move out.
This might sound crazy, but something is happening. Something is trying to take control of people here, and Ingrid, bless her, who has been quite overwhelmed by the whole situation, was one of these victims who we managed to save. Baldric can back me up on this. Isn't that right, Balls?
He moves forward and says, "My queen, everything they've said is true. Much has happened in a very short amount of time. It would appear some entity has moved into our keep and has done this to your father." She softens just a bit. Not much. She's still, a blazing fury is there, but it's just cooled a couple of degrees. And she gives a nod to you, says, "Thank you." And then she turns and immediately begins issuing orders to people and is just taking court of the people who are still here. trying to organize, get the story under wraps, just trying to get everyone to keep calm in the keep, and to organize and to not let anyone who's in this room right now leave the room until she says so.
I'll take another step. Your father had that dagger buried in his chest. I think it was trying to hide that symbol that is on his flesh there.
She looks it over. This means nothing to me. Someone get Bollock in here. And another guard rushes off. She says, What purpose have you all here? I understand you've been investigating. Investigating what? Why was I not informed? And she gives a glare, a flaming glare at the two Solinar who are in the room. Kildred just fucking crumples. It's just falls apart, and he's just tripping over himself trying to give excuses. Baldric is more just nonplussed about it and just says, explains that it was for her safety and for trying to keep things under wraps before this happened, and just kind of says, unfortunately, things got out of hand.
We've spoken with Haldor. He knows our story, and he gave us this. And I'll show the Battleborn crest.
She doesn't take it or anything, just looks at it and says, the Battleborns are good allies, and they have a good read on people. If Haldor and Thor have given you clearance, then I trust their judgment.
Your Majesty, if it would be acceptable, I would be willing to share why we are here and what we've learned, but I'm not sure, in light of what has happened and the imposters around us, that it would be apt to share it.
No. It would be best if we had a proper meet with proper accommodations. It'll be arranged, but for the time being, unless you have anything to add to this immediately, I will ask that you leave the keep and await further instruction.
If I may, we will. The only two I really trust is that one, and I'll point at Baldric and Braun.
You see Braun kind of glow a bit.
Mostly that one. I'll point to Baldric.
And Baldric just kind of gives a slight nod of appreciation. At this point, you hear a sound of rustling from outside as a rather rotund dwarf rushes into the room with these small spectacles and this slick back black hair. And he rushes into the room and says, I was summoned. My queen, how can I help?
Is that the dude we know?
You've never seen this guy before.
I thought it was the one arcane dwarf we were shopping at.
Nope.
Okay,
You've never seen this guy before.
Okay.
However, she instructs him to go and look at the symbol, the sigil on the king's chest, and says, I want to know everything about that thing, and I want to know everything about. And she points at you, Valentine, and says, "Tell him everything everything you know about the people who have done this."
Okay, so, and then I'll just tell most of it. I won't tell the backstory why we're here, but I'll say, imposter is this, scary, whoosh, that symbol.
And he's piecing it together and says, "Okay, let's." I should have some answers down in the archives. And he turns to the queen and says, it should take only a few hours. And she says, make it minutes. And he just rushes off.
I like this girl. She's great.
Yeah.
I like her a lot.
She actually says, she takes a moment and says, perhaps it's best that you accompany Balak. I shouldn't have dismissed him so quickly. Perhaps it's best you accompany him and aid him in any information you can provide me, and we can move from there. Your names are the Wildcards?
Yes.
Where are you staying?
We currently are holed up at the Pearl, if you're familiar with it.
someone here is. Please accompany him to the archives, and you will await further instruction from me. We will have a meet soon. I promise.
I very much recommend sooner than later, although I'm sure you understand that already. And I would also recommend, and I'll nod over to Ingrid, someone keeping an eye on her, many people keeping an eye on her at all times. She has a story to tell, I'm sure of it.
There will be a proper full investigation. I just need to wrap my head around things. Things are moving very quickly. I want this person found and brought to me. Turns to Baldric and Braun, and they say, she tells them to take care of Ingrid, tells Kildred and Urdok to take care of interning her father, taking care of the body itself. But says, don't take it away, just take care of it. And then she moves out of the room and gestures for a guard to lead you to the archives.
When she's going, I would take a knee and be like, "Long live the queen."
Sorry, hang on. I gotta roll something.
You die.
Yeah, you're dead now.
No, she's good. For a moment, Valentine, as everybody, but Valentine, you were the one who spoke. As you make this moment of connection with her and she turns to you, you can see she has like a moment where she's distant and then she's back. And she just kind of shakes her head and like puts a hand like to her like throat almost, just feels kind of weird, and then says, "Okay," and then just off.
I will grab Baldric.
Okay.
I'll bring him close. And I'll be like, "I want you doing that restorative magic on her tonight in an hour. You got to make sure she's okay."
Of course. We know what we're doing. I didn't trust him.
I look around.
He says, "This was not my responsibility. As you well know, there were others in charge of these, and there was a reason that they were picked. Do not question our authority within these halls."
I got hot there for a sec. I apologize. It's been a crazy day.
That it has.
I respect you. I walk away.
I respect you.
A guard leads you down to the archives if you wish to follow. But what else do you guys want to do?
Guys, reading. You all love reading. This is going to be so much fun. Lavender, you ever read before? Can you read?
Because knowledge is power.
Power is knowledge.
Library.
Within a few minutes, you are brought to the interior of a rather small, and it's down several levels, a rather small study. There is a large fire going, and there are just stacks of books and walls full of books. It's a fucking mess in here. And you see the rotund dwarf Bollock just kind of rushing back and forth, just collecting stacks of books. As you enter, he just says, I'll be straight with you guys. I don't know what I'm looking for. I have a general idea. This is not really my game. I don't know what I'm doing. Help, please, for the love of God, help.
Valentine, what topics are we looking for?
I'll take out my book. I'll show everyone the symbol. And I'll be like, look for this symbol. Look for things mentioning rapid decay. Look for things mentioning mind and body control by evil forces. Look for things that are like silvery mists coming out of people. You guys can read Dorvish, so you're going to be great. Lav and Brawley, you take care of that. Hondo, you speak fish. That's probably your section over there. Gord, you're into weird shit, so this is probably your jam.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to read.
You're going to read what? Sorry? You cut out.
I'm just going to read everything.
Okay.
Let's just work at this and have fun.
I want everyone to give me an investigation check.
Reading skill challenge. Here we go.
Gord, do yours with advantage for me.
I'm putting on the quick.
That
I
D20.
feel pee so bad.
Yeah, D20. Roll 2, take the higher.
Oh, great. Oh, wait, just Gord?
Just scored.
I got a... What are we adding to this, sorry?
Investigation.
Okay.
Hondo, what's your total?
Mine's a 12.
12.
I got a 20.
You had a natural 20 or a 20 total?
18 plus the investigation.
Okay, hold on to that.
I got 20 total, and Valentine got, I think he said 13.
Okay.
12.
Alana?
12.
I got 19.
Oh, wow, that's great. Mary?
27.
Okay, wow. Collectively, you guys find a grouping of books that seem to you guys focus heavily on the effects that have happened on these creatures, the charm effects, the draining effect, and you also, with a couple of little insights from Lavender and from Mary, the two of you remind everyone that you're dealing often with fiends with the Revenant Vow, with the 9 hells, and with devilish magic. And you guys, over the course of an hour, 2 hours, begin honing in on a series of books about succubus and incubus.
Oh, I fucking knew it.
You come to find that they are fiends, they're devils that serve to corrupt and infiltrate, and they have a shape change ability that they can naturally polymorph into other humanoid figures. They have a charm ability in which that they can hold on to someone for an entire day without further investigation. They can also, when charming a creature, they can also drain them of their life and drain their maximum health and life force. They fit every part of this infiltration and can be incredibly difficult to suss out, given the fact that they can also travel through the ethereal plane at will.
Oh, God.
So that means they could be in any room and we wouldn't know they were there with us.
True. You also know, with all your collective checks, that they typically resort less to direct influence on creatures' actions, and they try to corrupt the soul through having them indulge desires and get them to essentially willfully perform evil acts. And when they do so, the creatures who commit said acts, their souls are damned to the 9 hells, thanks to their influence. That doesn't mean that they don't also charm people to do their bidding. They will definitely do that. So
we get a hit on... Sorry, keep going.
I'm just gonna say that's what the majority of your investigation comes out with. You think you've pegged down your infiltrators. Brock, are you back from the bathroom?
Yep.
Okay. Brock, as everyone goes about their investigation, there's something about the symbol that Valentine drew that's kind of just niggling in the back of your mind. It's just kind of like, that sounds familiar. And rather than look through anything in this library, in these archives, you turn to your book. And in this book that you have, you've begun reading through a fair portion of it. You're, I think, roughly a third, almost halfway through the entirety of this book. And while you're not attuned to its ability, you have been learning a bit more about dark magics and exposing yourselves to some incredibly dark black magic. In this book, that symbol has come up in the discussion of curses, and especially in the discussion of Dorsane. Dorsane, obviously, you guys remember from the Black Staff as part the first Harbinger, the one Asmodeus granted the Black Staff to in the first place. The curse, the vow, the seal is his to bring the Redmane family down. Piecing this all together, Gord, you find in your book mentions of a curse of soul suffering that Dorsain essentially crafted. And while its specifics aren't listed in the book, a small passage is there, if I can find it. I write all these things and then can never find them again.
Someone has to check the queen's body for that curse, Hondo.
I'll do it.
You're gonna have to go deep on this one.
She is
I'll
admittedly,
take the bullet.
she's admittedly pretty fucking cool. She seems of much higher standard than your usual.
That's true. This is like the first woman I think you're not worthy of her, but she's like a good standard.
I enjoy a challenge.
This would definitely be a challenge for you. Gord, you find a passage in your book, and it has the symbol drawn within your book. You see the same sigil that Valentine drew is drawn roughly within the pages of your book, and around this symbol you see a passage that says, "Through the ages, many dark rituals and curses have been crafted by vile minds. Dorsain, the king of ghouls, is no exception. The cruelest of punishments he would inflict on his foes are from afar, spreading a contagion curse through the bloodline of a creature and can be passed through the family line. Dorsain's punishments often did. When he chose a creature to torture, everyone knew that creature was to suffer in kind. The curse of soul suffering is without end and insurmountably painful. Their mind and body become feverish. Their flesh begins to itch and burn as the soul rot eats at the creature's mind and soul, bringing them to the brink of death, but unable to die, bound to pain and misery."
So he could have killed himself. Gord, do you share that with the class, or do you keep that to yourself?
Keep that to myself.
Damn it.
Well, did anyone find anything in their books? Anything about this symbol? Hondo, anything?
No, that's what I'm wondering. Would we have found anything, Kyle?
There's nothing in these archives that would denote. The one thing I will say with your guys' roles, you do find things about Dorsain because you were that's like a tertiary thing you guys were kind of curious about, and what you find are accounts of his first corruption of the elven race that first created the ghouls, and this is an old account from like the year 100 something. Like, this is very old, and it also tells of, you find the tales and stories of the battle that took place where Dorsain attempted to take Haverfeld and to take the capital from the Redmane line, but was rebuked and was subsequently hunted down by the king at the time and by Ragnar Stormborn, one of the champions of the Dragon Guard, alongside a handful of others. But there was a small adventuring party essentially starring the champion of the Dragon Guard and the king at the time, who hunted down Dorsain, killed him, and that's when he vowed the bloodline curse upon the Redmanes.
Okay, well, we need to get this information upstairs quickly. It seems like this thing could be trying to take anyone over at any time. The more people that know, the better.
No one else find anything though? Just that? Just us commoners? Brawley, you get anything?
Nope, haven't found anything yet.
Mary?
I've told you everything I found. Admittedly,
Lab?
this isn't my field.
Well, have you find anything?
No, I didn't find anything.
Gord, you find anything?
I found something.
What did you find?
I love the guilt trip way of getting information out of it.
I don't want to be an asshole. If you want to keep that to yourself, that's good.
No, please don't keep it to yourself.
What I found is, and then I'll relay everything that you just said.
Okay.
Sick. That is super helpful. Also
So
terrifying.
if it goes through the bloodline, she could have a mark on her as well.
I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but when she left, she had this moment of like
Fogginess.
And it could already be starting to affect her if it passes down through the bloodline.
Who else is related?
I think the queen is the only one.
Kyle, in any of these books, did it say anything about with the succubus and incubus? Do we know anything like if someone resists it, they're good, or anything like that?
Resist the charm?
Yeah. Or is that just, it doesn't go into that detail?
No, you would know that if someone resists the charm, they are immune for 24 hours.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. This with all of your investigation checks, like you guys pass enough to learn, everything there is to understand about a succubus and incubus in terms of their ability set.
Okay, I know she said we were supposed to wait for instruction, but then she also told us to go do this, and we want to be in her good books. So let's get the fuck out of here.
I don't trust the queen.
You
Why
were
is
just
that?
saying that she was hot.
Why is that, Hondo?
That doesn't mean any. I believe there could be a plot at play here.
Wasn't the plot that she would die?
What if she
Yeah.
wanted to get a new king? She was not happy with her husband.
That was
not
not
her.
her.
That was her dad.
That was her daddy.
What if she wanted to have
she's
the highest power?
Okay,
But
that's
she's-
fair.
It's the first time I'm agreeing with him.
Exactly.
Look,
So-
I think.
You go, Mary.
No, I was just going to say, I think that no matter what, when we go in, we just keep an eye on her. We know that the goal of our enemies right now is to take her out. Correct?
That
And
seems
that
like
is
the
good.
next natural thing to do.
So no matter what, whether we trust her or not, she could be a terrible person. She doesn't seem like a terrible person. She seems pretty fucking cool. But she could be a terrible person, but our job is still right now to keep her safe. And to keep her from dying, or we're losing a fucking seal.
Gordo said that curse thing basically tortures you but doesn't kill you. The king legitimately could have took his own life to end his own suffering.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
We let her suffer for a bit.
Okay.
Until, if she's guilty, she'll tell the truth.
Right. I mean, what
They
if something
always do.
convinces her to kill herself?
How about we just go see her when she wants to see her? We'll share this info and we'll just get a good eye on her.
Who else do we know that's in this bloodline?
I think it's just the queen. And we should talk to the queen and see if she has any cousins or siblings or anything.
Or maybe...
Oh, look at this angel.
Hey.
Oh my god, is that a princess? Oh my god, I think... Let's wave at her. Everyone wave.
I can't see anything.
Hi. Hi, Lil.
You wake up. You can go back to sleep. You go with Daddy.
I love the push off.
I know.
It's so cute.
I can't wait till Lil starts playing with us. It's gonna be sick. She's gonna roll her character.
She's already practicing the spells from Onward.
Oh, she's ready.
She's ready.
Kyle, what was the name of the guy, or this little weaselly guy who came down with us?
Balak.
Balak. And as you look around for him, you find him just snoring in a corner, just dozing off.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll go wake him up.
Balak. Hi.
Hi. Okay, we found information. I'll give him a very just go. You know the queen knows you. Go upstairs. Tell her that we think we know what's going on, and to tell us as soon as she wants to see us, or tell someone to tell her that.
Okay.
Look, we're trying to make you look good here. Go.
Okay. And then he goes.
Guys, look at all these books. Everyone pick a book they want to read about.
I have no time for this book.
Hondo, you could find a book about tritons, and we could find out why you hate your own kind.
That's actually okay. So that's normally, I know this is half a joke, but is there anything that we need to know that we can quickly look for?
You're in a pretty wealthy archive. If you want to try and do a quick grab,
I'll try and look for books about the last like the earliest books I can find about the fucking last time there was that huge fight.
The Reckoning?
Yeah.
Or the Dragon's Rend, or
yeah, let's do Dragon Rend. No, I want to research the 4 harbingers if I can find
Harbingers.
Harbingers. Okay, give me an investigation check. And is anyone else investigating? This all be at the same time. Is there anything else anyone wants to look for, or?
I want to look for like an archive or an ancestry of the Redmayne family.
Great fucking thing to look for. Way more on brand.
Yeah, make an investigation check for sure.
Can I inspire hers?
You're investigating, so no.
Don't worry about it. Okay, I got for mine 16.
12.
Valentine, unfortunately, you spent a couple of minutes and you guys are trying to rush through this and you don't find anything. However, a history of the Redmaynes easily found, and you find a kind of a history of Haverfeld, a history of the Hammerstock, and it goes through the generations before the Redmayne line. It's kind of just like a dwarven history book. And the Redmaynes are heavily featured as the longest living ruling clan.
Question, are all the pages in the book?
Quickly flipping through, they seem like they are all there and accounted for.
Kyle, can I quickly, and they may not have it here, I'm going to look for a book about the what is it called? We got told that story about the woman who was Death, who was appointed by the Raven Queen.
Yep.
That whole story.
You can try and make an investigation check as well.
Okay. 14 plus. That's 14, 23. With the short time span, you guys are trying to quickly do this, and for such a pretty obscure topic, you don't find anything, unfortunately. Okay.
High roll, but you would have needed even higher to try and find something like that, and whether it's even here would make sense.
It's not exactly their purview.
It has been a long day, and you guys are finding yourselves coming towards the end of the day. It's getting to dinner time by the time all of this investigating, running around, researching has happened, and unless there's anything else you guys have, your stomachs are empty, and you've been basically instructed by the Queen to go home until contacted. So, is there anything else you guys want to do before trying to head back to the Pearl?
No.
Okay.
At some point, I want to try and buy a breastplate, but that doesn't have to be right now. I'm just throwing that out there.
You had something on order.
A lance, but we can do this later.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you could easily buy a breastplate, just a standard breastplate.
I think so.
Okay, let me look it up real quick.
Don't you have that, or do you have chainmail?
I have
chain shirt, I think.
Chain shirt.
Breastplate. They're not cheap, but 400 gold will buy you a breastplate.
Okay, great. I just want to look it up, make sure I don't have any disadvantages to it.
Nope, you're good.
Great.
14 plus Dex mod, max 2. Just a heads up.
14 plus Dex mod, so that would take me to 16?
Yes.
What do you have right now?
18 AC.
But you also have a +1 shield.
17.
So you'd still be at 18.
No, you'd be at 19. It'd be 16 for your breastplate, or 14 for the breastplate, 2 for your dexterity, 3 for your shield.
Great.
So you'd be up to 19.
That's it.
So, a quick pit stop in the Marquee District to grab a breastplate. Off the rack, grab it, pay
Guys,
for
I
it.
just,
Out you
I
go.
just really want one. I am sorry to bring you all here.
You guys make it back to, you make it through the Red Keep, and there's still mayhem going on in the Red Keep as a series of events have happened in a very short amount of time. In a couple of days, there have been a massive attack on a city to the southwest.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
That's what I'm gonna do. While shopping, I'm gonna try to eavesdrop to see if anyone's talking about what the fuck happened there.
In Durnhold?
Yeah.
Nothing as of yet. You hear a lot of like rumor mill of just like an attack happened, and just kind of like generic like Durnhold has been completely wiped off the map to like it was a couple of thieves just came in and fucked the place up. You know, you get a wide spread of misinformation. There's no one thing, if that makes sense. There is a lot of talk though that an attack happened and that a large, probably about a couple thousand of the Red Guard soldiers have moved off to defend and help, you know, whoever's left. Back at the Pearl, you guys quickly take in dinner, have a few drinks, wrap up your day, but it has been a long day, and unless there's anything else, you guys turn in for the evening. Let's see.
Just before, because Lavender doesn't stay with us, right?
That's up to Lavender.
You know what? You guys have some space for me tonight. It's been a really long day.
Yeah, like
I mean, I'm also kind of creeped out.
Hondo could shack up with Gord, couldn't you? Gord, I don't trust her. Yeah, we could. We'll pay you for a room. You did good today.
Excellent, thank you.
You didn't rush in.
I know
to save
what you
me.
were about to say,
You
but
didn't try and save me, so that's.
I just cast friends on him, so he's my friend for 1 minute.
But you know what? You really earn your stripes with that book thing.
Thank you so much. I think I'm going to retire to my room.
All right, she's pretty great, eh?
I'll just kind of laugh, clap her on the shoulder, and say, "You did good today."
She starts weeping.
I start to water in the eye, and I say, "Good night." I just take my book with me.
Are you sorry? Did you say you wanted to get your own room?
I'll pay for her room with party funds.
Okay. Easy enough. It is not directly beside the rest of their rooms are kind of one beside another. Yours is down the hall a little bit, but you're on the same floor.
Do not like, but whatever.
How much is that? I'll pay for her stay to be like us too.
I'd say to catch up the rest of the week, I'd say like 10 gold.
Great.
Something like that. It's nothing, intensive.
It breaks the bank. We're in debt.
I would like everyone roll me a percentile dice.
Is this before we're going to bed, Kyle? I'm just going to say every night now, if we have somewhere with a door, I'm putting the immovable rod in front of the door.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, I forgot we got that.
A percentile, though?
So that's
I got that. It was like all my money. I am broke.
So 2d10. And the first one is your first number. The second one is your second number.
You want the ones that just end with this? So like this one.
99. Damn, Kev.
This one's perfect. Yeah. This one's great. You can use this one too.
93.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You don't know what's good or bad. I got
99% more hit points. Yeah.
I got a 75, Kyle.
Okay.
How do
I
you
got
want?
87.
Oh, wow.
How do you want to figure out people's numbers? Do you want us to just say them?
Yeah.
71.
I don't know what's happening.
You got 23.
That's so weird. Okay.
What does it mean?
That is so weird. Val and Lab, we're the same person.
Okay. How do we do this? Okay. Gonna do mental gymnastics.
It's gonna probably.
Guys, this isn't good. Whatever the fuck it is, it's not good.
30.
Nope. Just gotta do some mental gymnastics. Don't worry about it. Let's see.
Don't worry.
I'm scared. I'm down the hole.
I just don't know which end of the spectrum it affects.
Yeah.
In the middle?
Yeah.
What did you roll, Allie?
87.
Ooh, there's a lot of high ones here.
Yeah. 5 of 6 are above 75.
Mary, what did you roll?
75.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's just bad luck. Okay. I need everyone but Lavender to make perception checks at disadvantage.
I rolled 71. Do you want me to?
Yep.
And sorry, which kind of check?
Perception at disadvantage.
Okay.
A D20.
Yeah, D20. Roll 2, take the lower.
Ugh. Perception, you said?
Yep.
I got
Yes.
21.
Yes. At disadvantage? Wow.
I got 23 at disadvantage.
Damn.
I got 8.
What?
I got
Hondo?
16.
15.
Reroll.
Okay.
Reroll percentile, please.
Oh, I shouldn't add. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay.
What is happening? What is
I don't like it.
Mary, what did you just roll?
I rolled a 16.
Okay.
As you guys take in your evening's rest, Valentine, Hondo, and Gord, there's a moment midway through your evening's rest that Gord, you've been reading your book and you're up a little late. Val, you're just so focused on what's happening in today's experience of today's day that you're just on edge. But you managed to go to sleep. Totally fine. Hondo, you're sleeping like a baby, as per usual. Late in the evening, Mary and Alana, both of you are awoken to the sound of your door being pushed into an immovable rod. And both of you sit up at the same time as daggers pierce both of your stomachs simultaneously. Hondo, a dagger pierces your stomach. Valentine and Gord, daggers pierce you.
What is happening?
And you're gonna all take some damage.
Ooh.
Ah.
I need everyone to make Constitution saving throws,
Oh, jeez.
except Lavender. And Valentine and Gord,
Ooh.
you got Valentine and Gord, as you get pierced and go to call out, no sound comes from either of your rooms. You don't hear yourself. You don't hear anything. It's as if you're in a vacuous void.
Con saves?
Con saves.
15?
15
10.
is a success. 10
my
is a
God.
failure. Allie, you have advantage.
Oh, good. I got 21.
You're great. Mary,
26.
Oh,
fine.
God.
Gord,
20.
you're also fine. So Hondo, you're fuck man, you're the only one all the time. Oh, this isn't a poison thing. It's just extra damage. Okay. Okay, hang tight. 2 seconds.
Oh my
I'm gonna do
God,
one-
what just
I'm gonna
happened?
do
Who's
one
trying
big
to
roll.
murder
Where
us?
did they come from?
You guys
Daggers.
really fucked up that roll. I thought it was gonna be like maybe 2. Not the entire party decides. Nah, it's cool.
It's like when we were sent to hell all over again.
Lavender's drawing a bloody dagger in her journal. Please show everyone what's drawn.
It is happening.
Oh
Now he's rolling high.
Well, that was 2 shy of max damage.
Oh, fuck me.
And
Actually,
then,
thank God it didn't have the lavender. She's got like 3 health.
oh my god, guys, come on. Oh boy, okay, hang on.
I cutting words to damage.
You have no reaction. What was I at? I gotta do, hold on. I'm sorry, there's a lot of math.
I can't believe it. I have to pee so bad.
Not anymore.
No, this is a bad time.
You're a dead woman now.
That's... Oh, fuck, okay.
Oh dear.
Oh, wait, hold on. Time out, time out, time out, time out.
I haven't been this stressed in a long time, guys.
Oh, fuck.
It's like the abyss.
So, who are your secondary characters going to be?
Boon the dead.
So everyone but Hondo succeeded on the secondary save, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's important. So everyone takes 50 points of damage, plus an additional plus an additional 40 points of damage. No, an additional 40 points to Hondo. Everyone who's saved takes an additional 20 points.
That saved my life right there.
You said
For a
con
total-
saving, right?
Yeah, for a total of 70 points to everyone, except Hondo, who takes 90.
Ooh. Are
And
you
that's
up?
what we're gonna pick up.
Oh my god.
Oh no, you up?
I got 18 health.
I got 16 health.
Oh my god. I got 17 health.
I just read my book down the hall.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time as the Wildcards awaken to the sting of Assassin's Blades and uncover the signs of another villain pulling at the strings of this conspiracy. There'll be a new episode up every Tuesday, so stay tuned. But until then, keep exploring.